assuming that they were there supporting Trump. And I don't know. Again, I don't know if that's the case. We don't know who these two young gentlemen are at this point. We're actually here in Keene. By the way, that happened at Keene State College yesterday, right here. And so, there's been a long history of activism that's gone on here that some would call disruptive. I've never done anything like that personally. I got a raft of S just for kind of giving the governor a hard time when she was walking into the commencement rally at graduation a couple of years ago. I didn't interrupt any kind of actual, ceremony or speech, but I don't disrespect what those guys did. I say shout down politicians. I don't care. I think, if that's what you want to do, if that's your activism, then I say go for it.
Did you give Bernie a hard time?
Did I give Bernie a hard time?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, no. I've done it to Republicans and Democrats when they've shown up in town.
I'm saying, wasn't there some shouting at Bernie?
Well, not during his actual
speech.
Right. I didn't shout at Bernie. I just asked him a question outside as he was coming in.
It was probably
very respectful.
It was probably Bernie that shouted back at him.
Well, he did call me disrespectful.
Oh, did he?
Because of the contents of the question that I asked him. And all that's all that.
Like,
video.
how are you helping the poor when you've got your $20,000 beach house or however much money it is?
You know what? I think I asked him something about Edward Snowden.
Oh.
Or Bradley Manning, one or the other, and I don't remember at this point which one it was. But he took kind of personal offense to me doing that. But at the very least, Bernie did acknowledge the fact that the question was asked. Usually, the smartest thing to do is just ignore it completely and walk on by, which is what I figured would have happened had I actually gone to the Clinton rally. And I was informed by a liberty activist who was there that there was very, very tight security, and I, of course, would have not been able to get anywhere near him. The time at which I would corner Bernie or some of the Republicans like we did in 2012 was during the primary, and so they don't have the Secret Service protection at that time.
You don't think you would have been able to blend in with a Hillary shirt?
Yeah, I wouldn't probably spend that kind of that money, but I kind of look to some extent like media. I do have a camera, and it's a bbig camera, and people respect the big camera to some extent. So that's what happened yesterday in Keene, New Hampshire, and there's actually been a pretty funny Alex Jones video that I've probably watched close to 8 times at this point. That came out just a few days ago, like a week ago or something like that.
Pretty recent, yeah.
Very, very funny stuff. Have you seen the Alex Jones video?
Yeah, well, I think we played that. We discovered this last Tuesday. In fact,
did we play it on the air?
I don't know if we did.
I don't think we
played
this on the air.
Johnson showed us the video off air.
Yeah.
Right. So I just thought it was hilarious, and since we're talking about Alex Jones, we might as well, play it, because I don't want to make it seem like, I'm supporting Hillary or anything like that. I don't support Trump or Hillary, but I do support any kind of trolling, any kind of political.
They say Hillary smells like sulfur.
I didn't hear that part.
She's a demon.
That part's in this.
I did see the video of Obama responding to those allegations.
To Jones's allegations?
Like at a rally, he gave himself a sniff test. Like, nope, I'm pretty sure I sound fine. I mean, smell fine. So weird.
Obama said, I don't smell like sulfur. Not a demon.
Okay.
So
I can assure the American public that I am, in fact, not a demon.
Here's the audio from Cafe, which is actually I guess a new channel, it looks like, on YouTube. They've only got 277 subscribers, so I don't know what the rest of their content is like, but whoever edited this is, I'm impressed. They did a really good job.
God, these people are so evil. Why can't America wake up and beat them?
Okay. I got to explain the weird noises in this.
Sniffling.
Because it's one of the funniest parts of the video. Is now obviously we're on the radio, so you can't see this. So they're taking the Alex Jones video feed from his YouTube channel, or however it is he broadcasts his show live when he does it, and they've taken that video and they've manipulated it. They've zoomed on it in ways that weren't done in the original production. And I don't know if they've color corrected or if Alex Jones is really this red.
He gets pretty red.
I know he gets red, but man, he is super red in this video.
Yeah.
And so you'll hear the weird squealing noise, and then you'll hear this noise. I can't.
He's rubbing his face.
Yeah, he wipes his face from top to bottom multiple times in this video, and you'll hear that because what they do is they take the audio from that noise when he rubs his face, and they amp it up like 10 times as loud as it probably originally was. So we'll get into that here, and you can join us. We've also got stuff to talk about, like facial recognition and clown masks apparently being banned from Target. All of that and more coming up here on Free Talk Live.
Today, how to incorporate your business in just 10 minutes so you won't lose everything if you get sued. Step 1, stop putting it off. If you're not incorporated and someone sues your business tomorrow, it's not just your business at risk. You can lose everything: your home, your car, even your life savings. Step 2, call the following number for a free 10-minute incorporation guide from Incorporate.com. 1-800-945-1063. They don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating quick and easy. So you can incorporate or form an LLC in just 10 minutes. That number again is 1-800-945-1063. Step 3, congratulate yourself. By taking just 10 minutes to incorporate your business or form an LLC, you protected your home, your car, and your life savings. And that is how you incorporate your business in just 10 minutes. But hurry while they're still giving away these 10-minute incorporation guides for free. Call 1-800-945-1063. That's 1-800-945-1063.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Investment Rarities, a 43-year-old company, has created the best silver offer ever. Get a U.S. Silver Eagle, Canadian Maple Leaf, Austrian Philharmonic, OPM Pure Bar, and Silver Round. Have all 5 for $99 post-paid. You heard me right, 5 ounces of silver below cost. No credit card fees, free shipping. Just $99 and you'll have a great start on what it takes to survive even the worst economic storm. Act now and receive Jim Cook's exclusive paper explaining how it's possible to make a fortune in silver today. Don't miss this opportunity. Call 800-328-1860. Read how the above-ground supply of silver has dropped below even gold. The secret is being suppressed. The price could explode at any time. Call today at 800-328-1860. Get 5 ounces of silver for only $99. Find them on the web at investmentrarities.com or call 800-328-1860. Call now before it's too late. 800-328-1860.
The new Netflix Gas lets users instantly inhale multiple seasons of TV shows. An area man is worried the nation's healthcare debate might be getting political, and a bullied 8th grader incorrectly thought classmates would leave him alone during a field trip to the 9/11 memorial. Don't mistake my kind, gentle tone for one of love or support. This is the Onion Week in Review. According to a report released this Tuesday, no one, absolutely no one, will ever stack up to your 8th grade boyfriend, Brian Bowden, who you dated for 6 weeks in middle school. A 43-page study from Stanford University confirmed that no other guy in your life will ever be as kind or caring as the 13-year-old who held your hand during the scary parts of Jurassic Park, who had that really cool chain wallet, and who bought you 2 pink carnations on Valentine's Day. The report added that while your current boyfriend does have a lot going for him, he will certainly never cut class with you to listen to the dead Kennedy's Frankenchrist on a Sony Discman. Brian used to do that with you. He used to do it all the time.
This is the Onion News Network.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same prices with free Super Saver shipping by going to shop.freetalklive.com. Please do your online shopping at shop.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Join us on the radio. The clown just insanity continues with Target apparently banning clown masks or maybe on a temporary basis. We'll get the details on that. And Cody actually used to work for Target, so we'll get into that when we get a chance. Your calls and thoughts also welcome. Coming up, Johnson will tell us how to deal with a psychopath, which I think is appropriate conversation, whether we're talking about killer clowns or Bill Clinton or Donald Trump, because you pretty much have to be, if not a psychopath, a sociopath to become a politician and, sort of do that thing. We're going to continue here in moments. Also, I want to let you know about Monero. Roger Ver is an early proponent of Bitcoin. He's a libertarian, entrepreneur, and peace activist, and he's predicted great things for Monero. Monero is a cryptocurrency with robust security and privacy features. Plus, it was built from the ground up, not built off of the Bitcoin software. That doesn't mean it's better or worse than Bitcoin. It's just different, very different. And people have begun trading it on the dark web. And, of course, that's how Bitcoin really got a boost in its early days. Veer has predicted a market cap for Monero as high as $1 billion in the near future. And Jax.io is incorporating it into the Jax wallet, which is the official wallet for cryptocurrencies of Free Talk Live. You owe it to yourself to become educated on Monero. We're not going to tell you to buy Monero, but we've got some, at least Mark and I do. I don't know about you guys. And you should take a look and decide for yourself. So go to getmonero.org to learn more about that. As we continue here, Alex Jones offering a $5,000 bounty. And apparently he's paying out multiple bounties. This isn't just like a, one person can collect it sort of offer. This is available, and I don't know for how long. I don't know if the contest is over. Actually, Cody, you are kind of I don't know if you're a fan of Jones, but I've heard you watching his show.
I'm an on and off listener.
Have you heard about this contest?
I have heard about the contest. As far as I know, he had a budget for this thing. So I don't know if he's run out of money, but that's basically how it is.
So he's got, I saw a video
where
he
set aside a certain amount of money. Once the money's gone, then
that's it.
It's over.
I know that I saw a video where he said he was cutting $20,000 worth of checks to people who had already gone and done this. So I don't know if there was $50,000 or what the amount was that he, what he chose. But it's definitely more than $5,000 because he's cut multiple checks apparently.
Oh yeah,
to people on this, and it appears to be working. He's got people showing up, yelling, "Bill Clinton is a rapist." At I presume it's only allowed at Democratic campaign events. I don't think it has to be Bill Clinton who speaks. I think you can do it sort of like any kind of place where the mainstream media is covering it.
I'm sure it's gone on at Hillary rallies as well.
Right. I think Tim Kaine also, somebody did it there, and he got a check. So as long as you get mainstream media to turn their cameras and cover you, then you could, in theory, collect this. If the contest is still on, again, it's not our contest. I'm just saying that's what motivated two young men to do this in Keene yesterday. And, kudos to them because it was a ballsy thing to do. You're in a crowd full of people who are not your friends, right? These are people who are not going to be happy about you coming there and shouting down their favorite president or whoever while they're talking on stage.
You actually don't know if somebody's going to hit you. Right. I mean, it's almost a guarantee you're going to be physically removed, but
Correct.
You don't know if somebody's going to just get mad and, I don't know, feel like swinging.
Yep, exactly. And there was one guy who tried to take the shirt off forcefully from one of the protesters, but he was luckily stopped by somebody else who was next to him. Like, whoa.
Yeah, I'm mad at you, so I'm going to commit assault. Totally logical.
So they didn't get hit, and that's a good thing. We're going to continue with your calls, plus a really funny video of Alex Jones in total Trumpism mode. Like, he's totally emotional and ridiculous, and I just found it hilarious. So we'll share that with you coming up here, and we'll go to your calls and thoughts first, though. Dan is in, I believe, Wisconsin. You're on Free Talk Live, listening online. Hey, Dan.
Hey, I just wanted to ask Ian a question.
Sure.
It sounded like he was insinuating that Donald Trump's a sociopath because he's running for president. Is that correct?
I think generally you have to be a sociopath in order to be a politician. I mean, there could be some exceptions to that rule. I don't know Donald Trump personally, and he certainly gets some level of a pass because he's never actually held a political office that I'm aware of before. But generally, people who are seeking power like that aren't doing it for good reasons.
You got me. I was going to call in and I wanted to chew you out, but that was a pretty good answer. I was hoping you were going to tell me he was a sociopath.
Well, he might be. I mean, there's a good chance of it, given that he is running for the most powerful political office in the United States. There's a high likelihood that he is a sociopath.
Well, I think he has just about everything to lose, not a whole lot to gain. I mean, but the power. But what couldn't he buy with his billions with lobbyists and whatnot? I think that he's genuinely concerned with the country. I don't understand.
When you said he doesn't, hold on. You said he's got a lot to lose from running for president. I mean, how's that?
His reputation. I mean, the media used to treat him pretty much like a god. Everyone loved. I mean, not too many people had any qualms with him. Now everyone, he's getting death threats. People hate him. He's getting these women coming out after 30 years saying that he's sexually molesting them. I mean, everyone talks about how his ego is so ridiculous. But
I'm pretty sure a lot of that was, the ego thing with Trump. There have been, critics of Donald Trump since before he was running for president. I'll give you the fact that because he's running for president, because he wants to have that power, that people are becoming even more vitriolic towards him than they otherwise would have been had he not made the run. So that much is true. But whether that will hurt or help him is another question, because a lot of the times, the haters are actually what propel you to even a greater level of popularity in certain cases. And so, the fact that he's out there campaigning, yeah, he's going to get haters, but at the same time, he's also building a huge fan base, probably unlike that he's ever had before. I mean, he was a television star previously. Now he's still a television star, except he's taking on Hillary Clinton in televised debates.
I think he's still being basically the same person that he always has been. He's just under more scrutiny because he's running for president. I mean, I remember one of the things that first introduced me to Donald Trump was his comments when he was like, "Rosie's a loser." I don't know if you guys remember that. For whatever reason, he was mad at Rosie O'Donnell, and he was after her like crazy. And okay, in the entertainment world, it was kind of big news, and people are like, wow, I can't believe the mouth on him. But, now that he's running for president, he's still being the same guy. It's just
he's just getting more attention.
He's just getting more attention, and I think he likes that.
Right, he's bigger now.
He's a household name around the planet.
More so now than ever before.
Could you imagine the ego trip of everybody on the planet just about knowing who you are or talking about you almost every day,
and they have
for
a strong
an entire election cycle?
Right.
It's madness.
Dan, any other thoughts?
No other thoughts. You have a good point.
Thanks for the call tonight, man. I appreciate it. I don't know what Donald Trump's true intentions are. I don't think anybody really knows that.
I'm going to be the biggest sociopath that this country has ever seen. I'm going to be the greatest, least empathetic sociopath. It'll be amazing.
You can join us here. It'll be huge.
It'll be huge.
You can bring up whatever you want. Your thoughts on Trump or anything that's on your mind. Plus,
I just hope that if he gets into office that he has a reality show as president.
He totally could do that. Why wouldn't he? He's Donald Trump. I would expect something like that from him. 855-450 free. You can join us here. This is Free Talk Live. We'll talk psychopaths coming up.
Worried about lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Get a ProPure with the Pro 1G 2.0 cleanable reusable filter and remove up to 200 contaminants. Drink water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure products, including the new ProMax shower filter. There's a ProPure for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
Want to build a maintenance-free, low and slow charcoal briquette fire that burns for hours for free? MeatMastersRadio.com will show you how to build a low-temp charcoal fire that's guaranteed fiddle-proof. It's easy and free. MeatMastersRadio.com teaches charcoal barbecue skills on new topics every week. Go to MeatMastersRadio.com. That's MeatMastersRadio.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees!
What's the problem, officer?
officer!
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Hey guys, Mark Claire here, lionsofliberty.com, where we strive to advance the ideas of liberty daily. We bring you the Morning Roar. That's right, every Monday to Friday we'll have a brand new edition of the Morning Roar, where we provide a roundup of some news stories that you may not find in the mainstream media or even in your typical social media newsfeed. We find stories that relate to the ideas of liberty and provide you with our liberty perspective on them. Every Monday, we have our longest-running feature, Mondays with Murray, named after the great libertarian Murray Rothbard, where we'll examine an article or an excerpt from his works and help convey his view, along with our little spin as well. We wrap it all up every Friday with Felony Friday, where our own John Odermatt goes out and takes a look at some sort of felony. There's felonies committed every day, you know, whether it's a felony committed by the police, a politician, or even an average citizen. You can find all of this and so much more over at lionsofliberty.com. Advancing the ideas of liberty daily.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It is Free Talk Live. You're invited here to join us on the radio waves. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype. Skype username is LRN.FM. We've got all kinds of opportunities for you to get interactive with the show. You can take control of the airwaves via the phones. You can also go onto our website, and you can actually create the content that's there by submitting it right to the front page. It's a Reddit-based site. It's totally free to use, so enjoy over at freetalklive.com. Now, if you've ever wanted to start your own blog or website but just haven't really gotten around to it, maybe it's just too intimidating of a process for you. You know, maybe you just don't know how to go about all the things you need to do to make the website work. Well, HostGator can help. In fact,
what just happened?
There's a kitty on top of the the phone box here in the studio.
He's not a very good board op.
A new studio cat. Anyway, HostGator.com. Luckily, there's no gators in the studio. The kitty would probably not be so happy. But you can go and get your website. They've got a simple, one-click, easy installation for WordPress. They've got 24/7 over-the-phone or live chat tech support and a very intuitive and user-friendly control panel that puts the power of creation and the simplicity of use into the hands of you, the customer. Now, you can go to hostgator.com/FTL, and you'll get an incredible discount. We've managed to secure a 50% discount for Free Talk Live listeners. That's 50% off their regular prices. They've got a 99.99% uptime rating, so you don't have to worry about outages. Go and check them out at hostgator.com/FTL. That's how you get the special deal. hostgator.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. And again, you get 50% off for Free Talk Live listeners. Let's go to your phone calls and thoughts. More coming up about psychopaths and politicians, or do I repeat myself? It's Mike, listening in Oregon. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Mike.
Hey, guys. So, Ian, I have got an idea for some activism that would actually be really cool if you were to go to, like, it could work in any town like Concord or Keene or anything like that. Print up some flyers. You know how you guys always do the jury outreach for the jury nullification stuff? What you guys should do is, and this is a good way to thumb your nose at the court system, is print up some flyers of, have it say, tired of going to the government-run court systems and tired of paying for them with your tax dollars? Opening up soon in a town near you a private market-based dispute resolution organization, and pass these out as people are coming into the courthouse. And I'd like to see what guys like, like Ron Dusevich and all those guys who are up at the Keene District Court, I'd like to see their reaction to this, because, I mean, you're not doing anything illegal, but it would definitely get their attention, just like the drinking game you guys did back in the day. You didn't actually have beer in your bottles, you had water. What do you think?
Okay, so let me just make sure I'm understanding this. You're saying create some sort of alternative court system for dispute resolution and then promote that outside of the courthouse?
Correct. Like, not so much a system, but a market-based, dispute resolution organization that would be a market-based, and pass that out in front of the courthouse, yes.
Well, they have...
Not that you'd actually open it up, but just to see what the court officials would actually say to something like that.
Okay, so wait. So you're saying pass out flyers for something that doesn't actually exist?
It would be more like an advertisement, like, coming soon to a town near you, that kind of thing.
I guess I see the point. I wouldn't promote something that didn't exist, personally. I wouldn't want someone to receive a flyer and feel like, that's a cool idea. How do I sign up? Oh, it doesn't actually exist. So, but of course, if it did exist, then you're talking about something that would be relatively difficult to actually make work, given that, well, there are private arbitrators. So it's not to say that it couldn't work. There are organizations like I think one of them is called the American Arbitration Association. So if you actually look at a lot of like cell phone contracts, corporate agreements that you might have signed at some point in your life, it's almost, I wouldn't say it's a guarantee, but it's highly likely that in that contract, you actually waive your right to a court hearing in return for being able to sign the contract. They say that, well, if there's a dispute, then you have to go to the American Arbitration Association rather than a courthouse. So it's a way to funnel people out of the court system and into arbitration where they can get the case heard sooner and the costs on both sides are going to be lower. So it's not to say it's impossible to create an alternative, system or a competing arbitrator to the government courts, but you'd have to be really dedicated to it. I mean, you'd have to actually really start that as a business and be serious about it, in which case promoting that out in front of the courthouse would make sense. But it's a pretty big activism idea, and not one that I'm interested in taking on, but I wouldn't stop you from doing it.
Right. It was just more of a kind of a gag kind of joke thing you could do in front of the courthouse, just to see what the judges and the bailiffs and all that would actually.
No, I don't think they would care. I mean, I'm out in front of the courthouse at least once a month, if not more often. I've been taking a break from doing the Don't Take the Plea deal, but I'd like to start that up again at some point in the future. I've got all kinds of I've logged countless hours in front of the courthouse handing stuff out, and they don't mess with me at all. So I already kind of know the answer to that question. Changing the flyer that I hand out isn't going to change the effect that I have on people, unless I were to actually go out and try to, manipulate a jury in some way, in which case then they would likely arrest me and charge me with jury tampering. But that's not what I do. I go out and I hand out jury nullification information, which I did this month out in front of the Cheshire County Courthouse, and I've been doing that probably for 7 years now here in New Hampshire. So I've kind of already gotten that, but it's not a terrible idea, Mike. Thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You actually have to go way back if you want to find any kind of reaction whatsoever from court security here in Keene. There was one video that was particularly epic where I was told by the county sheriffs who'd come out to let us know that we were well within our rights to hand out flyers out in front of the courthouse. So it was me, Sam Dotson, who's a former co-host here on Free Talk Live, and one of Sam's buddies was visiting in town. It was actually his friend that recorded this video and he put it up on his YouTube channel. So we're standing out there handing out flyers. Sheriffs come out. They let us know, yep, you got the full right to be here, hand out flyers, no problem. We just want to let you know to not open the door for people. And I was just bewildered that they would try to tell me something like that, because that's what I was doing. I was opening the door for everybody that would come up to the courthouse. I didn't care if they were a bureaucrat or if they, just an average person. I'd open the door for them. And we don't want you opening the door for people. I said, so wait a minute, you're telling me to not be courteous? And they literally said on video, yeah, don't be courteous. And it was just the funniest. I just thought that was one of the funniest moments, to actually have a cop tell you, don't be courteous, in those exact words. And so when the cops actually went back into the courthouse, or turned to go back in, of course I opened the door for them, and they did nothing about it. So the the history of handing out flyers in front of, at the very least, the Keene courthouse is very, very little. We've never really been threatened in any way, shape, or form for doing it. And that's one of the reasons why New Hampshire is a great place to do activism like this. In other places, if you go out and hand out flyers, there's a good chance you'll be threatened by court security. There's a good chance you'll be arrested by the police under a judge's order for, contempt of court charges. We've seen Fully Informed Jury Association activists getting arrested in places like Orlando. Of course, there's also, and it was in Orlando, it was like in a district courthouse. And then there's Julian Heiklin, who's made a kind of a history of going to federal courthouses, handing out jury nullification information, and being arrested in multiple locations at federal courthouses around the country. When he came here to New Hampshire, it was only one time when he did it. He came to New Hampshire, went to the Concord Federal Courthouse, and we had like 30 or 40 people come out to support him. Now, most of the time when Julian Heiklin goes out to a courthouse, he's got no more than a handful of supporters, if that. A lot of times he's just alone or with one other person. In our case, we had dozens of people out to support him. The cops didn't do a single thing to him in that particular case. So not only is being in New Hampshire the best place to do court outreach, we've actually got like 6 or 7 out of the 10 courthouses here covered with jury nullification outreach every single month. And I guarantee you there's nowhere else in the United States with that level of court outreach going on. So to Mike's idea, I wouldn't say changing the flyer would have any effect whatsoever. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. But I'll stick with the nhjury.com stuff. And if you want to learn more about jury nullification, you should definitely check out nhjury.com. Wherever you are, it's pretty useful information. We'll continue. Free Talk Live coming up.
Every once in a while, you get information that's worth changing your life for. This is one such time. You can save up to and beyond 25% on all purchases at Amazon. You probably heard of Bitcoin and just not thought much about it. You certainly know that you can get competitive pricing at Amazon, but now you can get a 25% discount on nearly everything you need to live. I've just given you a huge raise, and all you have to do is claim it. You go to saveitpurse.com and open an account. Do this right now. Don't wait. Then you fund the account with Bitcoin. You can buy them through expresscoin.com with a check or money order. There are other ways to get Bitcoin, but that's fast, safe, and easy. This information is worth you changing the way you do things. Go to saveitpurse.com right now, get signed up, and cash in on the huge raise I'm offering you. 15 to 25% off of everything at Amazon through saveitpurse.com. It's saveatpurse.com.
Is negative content or comments on the web affecting your personal or professional reputation? Unfavorable comments, embarrassing pictures, videos, legal documents, and negative articles can ruin your personal life, your career, or your business. It happens a lot, and it's just not fair. But what can you do? ReputationDefender.com can help protect your good name. Get a free consultation now. Call 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Call right now for a free expert reputation analysis. It's easy to squash the unfair attacks with our patented system, and the analysis is absolutely free. Make the best things about you jump out in searches. Protect your personal and professional reputation, your business, and your income. Get your free reputation analysis from ReputationDefender.com right now. Call 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com today.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Pure Life Water, helping you drink better and live better by providing a zero-calorie alternative to sugary drinks. Visit us at nestle-purelife.us. When kids are playing, they often don't want to stop to keep hydrated, so send them out with a bottle of water and encourage them to take frequent drink breaks, or call them inside for a quick sip. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial in toll-free and join us on the radio here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. The AMP program is available for those of you who appreciate the work that we do here on Free Talk Live. You want to hear the ideas of liberty discussed more often on more radio stations? Well, we can do that, but it does cost money to effectively advertise, market, and promote Free Talk Live, and that's what the AMP program stands for. It's been around for more than a decade now, and it was actually, Johnson, your original suggestion, so thank you for that. We have a few hundred of our listeners who are regular amplifiers, meaning they send $5 a month or more into the show, and they get perks in response for that. They get access to the AMP-only call-in lines, the AMP-only podcast, as well as the AMP-only Facebook group. Again, $5 a month. You can use any major credit card through PayPal, use Visa or MasterCard, as well as Bitcoin right on our website. And you get those perks, and you help Free Talk Live expand the message of freedom. So everybody wins. amp.freetalklive.com, amp.freetalklive.com. We'll talk about psychopaths coming up here, plus clown masks being banned from Target and more. But your calls come first. Let's go to Tom, listening in the Dominican Republic. Hello, Tom.
Yeah, it's about the two-party system excluding the libertarians from the presidential debate and using ballot access laws to prevent libertarians from getting on the ballot. Okay? Now, basically, we're being told, well, we have a choice, the Democrat or the Republican. And then the candidate who gets elected, hey, that's what the people said they wanted. Okay,
but that's not what people wanted. As you know, that's what people chose as usually the lesser of two evils. I would say most people are probably voting against the other person rather than for the person they're voting for. That just seems to be the zeitgeist.
Well, the idea of freedom of choice in America is a very interesting one. When it comes to our politicians, we get left or right. Oh, no, but when it comes to ice cream flavors, we have
31
50, 100 tons of ice cream flavors, chewing gum, Doritos, so many choices and variety. But when it comes to the things that really matter, America drops the ball.
Go ahead, Tom.
Kind of like the rapist who argues in court, hey, I gave her a choice. In your mouth or between the legs. And then what happened next was what she said she wanted. But that's and now that's how to describe the two.
No, I get what he's saying. He's drawing an analogy between voting for Trump and Clinton to that kind of a choice.
Oh, I get it. But
thanks for the call, Tom. I appreciate it. Yeah, I agree.
Didn't need the visual.
Pretty graphic. Toll-free number here tonight, 855-450-FREE.
The one I've always seen is there's some meme going around Facebook. It's like, I've got this baby we need to kill. Now, should it go in the wood chipper or the microwave?
Okay, yeah. Take your choice.
Make your vote. Wait, I can't believe you would throw your vote away.
So we're going to get into psychopaths here in a moment. But we started the show talking about Alex Jones and this challenge that he has, $5,000 bounty. Presumably it's still out there because a couple guys in Keene yesterday at the Bill Clinton rally started shouting Bill Clinton is a rapist during his speech and got ABC News or whoever it was, I don't know who it was, but some cameraman panned down and recorded them. And so because they did that, because someone from the mainstream media recorded someone shouting Bill Clinton is a rapist, Alex Jones should be paying them out $5,000. And Alex Jones, for those that don't know, is a kind of conspiracy theory talk show host who's just
got a clip.
Yeah, he's just gone insane. I mean, you could argue he's already crazy, but he's really gone off the deep end for Donald Trump. And it's particularly ironic or interesting because Alex Jones has sort of always been this challenger to the establishment. He's always, been on the attack against whoever it is that has been in the White House. So, he deserves a lot of credit for that. He's not, whether it's been George Bush or whether it was Barack Obama or Bill Clinton before them, Alex Jones has been critical of those folks.
And that's what's so disappointing is that, he's easy to make fun of as a talk show host, but he's done a lot of good things in the past. He's done it.
He was an inspiration to me in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean, you can find activism video of him from the 90s of him going in and refusing to do something.
There was one where he
with
went
a tax
into
form.
There was one where he went into a bank and refused to scan his thumbprint. Or
That's
that.
what I was talking about.
I'm not giving you my biometric information, you evildoers.
Yep.
Now, it was a bank and not exactly like a government agency.
Well,
the
banks are responsible for the global conspiracy.
Well, you can certainly argue that the banks are essentially arms of the government. I mean, they are heavily regulated by the FDIC. And so, there really isn't that much competition there. Nonetheless, Jones was an inspiration in that way. Plus, just sort of making movies critical of the police state, his police state films from back in the early 2000s. I think he did some good work with those things. Now he's just frothing at the mouth over Donald Trump.
It's the three main professions that the reptilians go into is bureaucracy.
Is he into that?
Law enforcement and banksters.
Does he go that far?
A lot of the times, I think he might believe it, but sometimes he'll go off on a rant and he'll say well, I'm not even going to get into that. He'll almost
But he's had
stop
David Icke
himself.
on his show numerous times.
Okay. All right. So that's somewhere he won't broach during his show, but that he might be.
I think even he has some boundaries.
All right.
Some limits.
So here's what I consider to be a hilarious clip from Cafe. It's a channel on YouTube, relatively new. It's only about a year old. They only have about 277 subscribers, but if they can keep up the content coming like this, then they'll have a good future. This is great stuff. So I'm going to just start from the top since we only got about 10 seconds into it. It's about a minute long with Alex Jones just flipping out. Great music, by the way.
God, these people are so evil. Why can't America wake up and beat them? Donald Trump's not perfect, but he doesn't want to hurt you and your family. Hillary and Obama want to make you poor and pathetic. We have all their white papers. They hate you. They hate prosperity. They hate God. They hate children. And goddamn them they all. We're going to find the lever to beat these people, and they're going to be beat. Look at her shark face. Have to look at her with that demon face. That's a frickin' demon. We're going to have President Linda Blair, people, and I'm not going to go along with it. Excuse me.
So you could hear the little weird noise at the very end, and there was another one in the middle of it. And that's where he's wiping his face from top to bottom.
I don't know. He's getting pretty red in those clips. He looks a little bit like a frickin' demon.
He is out of his mind over this thing, and anyway, I just thought.
But you know what? More popular than ever. Got to give him credit where it's due.
Yeah, this video deserves way more than 1,300 views. So I hope it can get out there and actually get 100,000 or something like that because they did great. They really did a great editing job with this. Really, they took a few clips of him and the zooms, the sound design where they brought the echo in, and it was just. Brilliant stuff. Let's go to your calls and thoughts here. We're going to Skype, where Liberty Phoenix is on the line. I believe. Are you still out in Illinois, Phoenix?
Yeah, still am.
All right, there you
Until
are.
the girls get older.
Welcome. Go ahead.
What's up, dude?
Not too much, buddy. First off, I can't believe that I spent hours a day listening to that man for about 2 years before I found you guys.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he does what, like a 5-hour show?
Yeah.
4. I think it's like 4 hours.
Okay, I thought he added a 5th hour for some reason at some point. But
that's probably the new TV show.
Still, that's a long time to be on the radio.
Yeah, he does have the nightly news now as well, so that might be what he has a big team now.
Okay.
I think he will do some segments, but I don't know.
Go ahead.
So
Phoenix.
I had a use of force issue for you guys. My partner has a cat. She's going to be going away for Thanksgiving, and she wants me to give him his medicine. Well, I'm not really comfortable with like holding him down and forcing it down his throat. Anecdotally, just putting this out here, he won't eat it if it's like crushed up and put into food, or if you just kind of stick it in it, he'll like go around it, or he'll not eat it. How do you deal with something like that?
Get a syringe. Not a needle syringe, but like they have them for liquid medicine, but if you could crush it up and somehow liquefy the medicine, then you can put the syringe in their mouth and squirt it in, and then they will eat it.
Isn't that the same idea?
Their throat, like on their tongue.
I mean, isn't that the same concept though, as like holding him down and forcing him to take it?
Yeah, they're cats.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, they're cats.
Are you really having like a moral type of problem with giving your pets medicine?
Well, yeah, and it's not mine, but maybe that's why I don't feel as obliged to do it. But I don't really want to do it.
Okay, hold on. You're talking about a cat that you've had for how long?
I've known him personally for about a month and a half.
Okay. So are you keeping the cat in your home?
Yep.
Now, isn't that basically imprisoning the cat?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So you're already using some level of force to keep the cat on the property.
We keep the door open. We keep the door open. They can go out whenever they want. You know.
Okay.
If the door's open, they go outside.
Okay, so the cat is allowed to go.
So they're not really going far.
Mm-hmm.
But,
and so what happens if the cat doesn't get the medicine? I missed that.
I'm not really sure.
What's the medicine for?
I would imagine not a good thing.
What is the medicine for?
It's a thyroid.
Okay. This is an interesting question. We'll dissect it a little bit further if you want to stand by. Is there something inherently immoral about forcing something on a pet? And I think there's some bigger questions there as well about pet ownership in general. Is it wrong to own a thing like that? 855-450-FREE. You can join us here. This is Free Talk Live. Do you need a website for your blog or new business? It can be pretty intimidating on your own, and that's why Free Talk Live has partnered with HostGator, one of the top hosting companies. HostGator offers a simple one-click, easy installation for WordPress, 24/7 over the phone or live chat tech support, and a very intuitive, user-friendly control panel that puts the power of creation back into your hands. Go to HostGator.com/FTL and you'll get 50% off of their regular hosting prices. 50% off. HostGator.com/FTL.
The Blockchain Education Network has had a busy fall semester introducing, educating, and giving away Bitcoin. The initiative believes wholeheartedly that students should understand cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. Now the organization is ramping up its efforts to educate the academic masses, offering a bounty to students who help build a syllabus. The Blockchain Education Network has set aside a total of 4 Bitcoin to divide between students who add content. To learn more, go to news.bitcoin.com. That's news.bitcoin.com.
Are you a political activist who does things that the government might not like? Then this free ebook may save your life. Rats is your guide to protecting yourself against snitches, informers, informants, agents provocateur, narcs, finks, and similar vermin. Rats was written by OG libertarian Claire Wolfe. Rats is a short book, easy to read, and available free in many formats. Download Rats free at rats-nosnitch.com. That's rats-nosnitch.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, October 18th, 2016. Silver is trading at $17.61 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,260 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $641. Antiwar.com reports following calls by U.S. and British officials for a ceasefire in Yemen, the pro-Saudi Hadi government and the Shiite Houthis have agreed to implement a 72-hour ceasefire with possibilities of extensions if all goes well. The truce is set to begin late Wednesday. UN officials say the ceasefire will allow for an increase in humanitarian aid deliveries. The pro-Saudi forces condition the truce on aid coming into their portion of Taiz. Getting aid into the Houthi parts of the country, by contrast, is more heavily dependent on getting ships through the Saudi naval blockade. On that count, the Saudis did promise to support the ceasefire, but did not necessarily say they'll be participating in it. That could be problematic, as previous ceasefires have often faltered, with the Yemeni factions mostly holding their fire and Saudi bombs raining down throughout. There is no indication that any sort of peace talks are being planned for the 72-hour ceasefire, and both sides are likely waiting to see if this holds longer than previous efforts. The backing by U.S. and British officials may give a little more momentum to this round, though it remains to be seen if that means the calms will last longer or just that more effort will be made by both sides to blame the other for the failure. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports the attorney for a central witness in the 2012 child sex abuse case against former Penn State football assistant coach Jerry Sandusky argued on Monday that his client was effectively ostracized by the university for coming forward with the allegations. In his opening remarks for the civil case, attorney Elliot Strogoff told jurors that simply reporting the crimes effectively ended his client Mike McQuarrie's career with the university. McQuarrie was one of the main witnesses for prosecutors during Sandusky's original trial 4 years ago. As an assistant coach under famed head football coach Joe Paterno, McQuarrie told school officials in 2001 that he witnessed Sandusky sexually assault a young boy in the locker room. After he came forward to report the assault, and when news of the scandal broke in 2011, Strogoff argued the university attempted to defame him in public statements and refused to renew his contract with the football team. The motive, he said, was to undermine McQuarrie's credibility in hopes that the case would go away. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com. Reuters reports the president of an organization representing U.S. and international police officials apologized on Monday for the role law enforcement has played in society's historical mistreatment of communities of color. The remarks by Terrence Cunningham, president of the International Association of Chiefs of Police, come amid a recent string of killings of minorities by officers that have sparked protest across the United States and calls for greater accountability in the use of deadly force. According to a transcript provided by the group, Cunningham, speaking at the group's convention in San Diego, did not mention any particular incident. Cunningham said there have been times when law enforcement officers, because of laws enacted by federal, state, and local governments, have been the face of oppression for far too many of our fellow citizens. Cunningham, who is the police chief in Wellesley, Massachusetts, near Boston, said it was also important for those critical of police to acknowledge that today's officers are not to blame for the injustices of the past. The IACP, which was founded more than 100 years ago, represents 20,000 law enforcement professionals from 100 countries. Attorney General Loretta Lynch, speaking to the IACP conference on Monday, called an announcement by the Department of Justice that in 2017 it would begin collecting data about law enforcement officers' use of force nationwide preliminary. But Lynch said the move represents the framework for initiatives that will allow all of us to gain what we have sorely lacked, an accurate picture of what is actually happening out in the field. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
We turn to Washington, D.C., where America's roommates are holding a rally as part of their new One Vote Doesn't Matter political action campaign. The rally, which drew thousands of roommates, ranging from the guy who keeps all of his groceries in his room to the guy whose name the lease is under, is just a part of a surging grassroots movement to spread the message that one person's vote can't make a difference if you really, really think about it.
You know, this is like the most important election of our lifetime. We just want to get the word out that it's already been decided in some smoke-filled boardroom. You know, I pretty much minored in poli-sci, so I think I get this stuff.
Joining us now is Jason Copeland at a rally in the nation's capital. Jason, how would you describe the energy there?
Yeah, hi, Andrea. I'd say it's a definite chill vibe. I just saw the roommate whose only friend seems to be his younger brother and the guy who just has an air mattress in his room passing out flyers together. Now, the roommates do make some interesting points. The Electoral College it is weird.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything you want. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. This is kind of breaking news here. We're going to get back into your calls and thoughts. Looks like there is now a Hillary Clinton naked statue that has appeared. Remember the Donald Trump naked statues that appeared a few, months ago?
Who is that licking her nipple? Is that Bernie Sanders?
It could very well be.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, I literally just pulled this story up. Right. I don't know anything else about it. The headline is Nearly Naked Hillary Clinton Statue Sparks Fury in Downtown New York City. It appeared during rush hour today. So we'll get into that story when we get the chance. We're continuing with your calls and thoughts. But with you in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Cody,
and Johnson.
And we're going to go back to your calls. And we were actually on Skype with Liberty Phoenix, who brought up an issue about a kitty that he has. Now, I don't know whose kitty it is. I didn't get that. I don't recall that detail from him there.
Well, isn't it its own?
Huh?
Technically, isn't it its own? Technically.
Okay, so that's sort of part of what we're discussing here is whether or not you can kind of own a cat or a pet in some way.
Can you own anything?
Well, ownership is defined by possession in a lot of ways and the ability to defend that possession, right? So technically, you or Renee own the kitty that's in the studio here, and that's because you're taking care of it, you're possessing it. Although the cat could, in theory, escape and then, reclaim its own self-ownership.
I never know to go with this stuff because I've always believed in the anarcho-capitalist principles, but once you smoke enough DMT, you realize that you're not in control of any of it. Whatever's going. And I know you're going to want this.
I don't know about that. I would
guess
say the opposite's
issue
true.
that I have is, what's really required for self-ownership? I mean, I would think it would be, being able to be sentient and aware and being able to be responsible for yourself. But I mean, if a cat fits all of those parameters for self-ownership, then
does
what right
it can't give itself medicine to keep itself alive? Does it fit those parameters?
There's not a lot of
die
humans
because it
that
has a
fit those
thyroid
parameters
problem
either.
because someone can't give it medicine.
Now, Johnson, you're referring back to, for listeners just tuning in, what Liberty Phoenix had said in the initial part of his call in the former segment was he had a moral concern over whether or not he could force a pill down the kitty's throat. He hasn't been able to, trick it into taking the pill. So the question is, should he be able to force? That's what you're referring to.
No, of course not. You shouldn't be able to force it. Just like you shouldn't be able to force children to take medicine either. You should join a Jesuit cult or something. I don't know.
Well, there are some parents who are like, they will not force their kids to do anything. They, what do they call it? Peaceful parenting, I
We're
believe
not going to give our baby that has cancer, or whatever, we're not going to take this curable disease and give it, the medicine. We're going to do holistic herbal essences therapy.
Well, that's different. There are some parents who do that, but the parents I'm talking about,
their kid just dies.
No, the parents I'm talking about are the ones who will let the children decide, right? So, you don't want to brush your teeth tonight? Okay, fine. Don't brush your teeth.
Right.
I think it's a terrible idea because then their teeth are going to get, rotted and cavitied, and then what are the kids going to pay for it? No, you're going to have to pay for it. But
more often than not, if you're talking to your child about brushing their teeth, you're going to convince them through, logic, reason, or bargaining, whatever.
I agree with
you're not going to smack them on the butt.
hopefully
and
you'll
it's the
convince
same concept.
them.
Yeah, I'm obviously
No, it's not the
against
same concept. You're not hitting the cat and saying, "Cat, take this medicine."
It's not like a punishment. You know what? You're not giving him like a poisonous pill because you hate the cat. You know what I'm saying? It's not a punishment.
The pill's going to
he doesn't want to do it, but he needs to.
The kitty has a thyroid problem, is what you told us before. And I don't know, that sounds like it could be painful. It could result in the cat having some sort of pain. It could result in the cat dying sooner rather than later. And if, I understand the dilemma that you're having here. It's like, you're worried that you're going to violate some sort of principle. But there are certain times in life where, again, the non-aggression principle is a darn good principle, but it's only a starting point for how humans should interact with one another. There's, I think, more important things that people need to focus on, which includes treating people well.
Yeah.
But now we're talking about human-animal interactions. And, of course, all humans are animals, but you know what I'm talking about. We're talking about human-pet interactions here. Is it somehow wrong to force a pill down a pet's throat?
Or even to have a cat in your house and not let it leave? Does that make you a slave master because you
are a prison
have
warden?
A prison warden?
You are
yeah.
a prison warden, and you're hopefully operating a happy little prison where your ward will enjoy itself and prefer to be there.
Yeah, I would prefer my cats don't go outside and get eaten by foxes. Thanks.
Or they have fisher cats up here as well, which will tear their guts out.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
There's a lot of places around there, though, where cats are quite capable of living their entire lives outside, coming back and forth.
Living likely a shorter
life. A lot
life.
of cats that are outer cats, they have several different families that they'll go to a lot of times. You know what I mean?
Sure. But they're going to live outside.
If they can survive, if they can provide for
good luck
themselves.
surviving through the winter.
Yeah, you know what the likelihood of a cat surviving its entire life is, like outside? It's not high.
They're going to die much sooner. If they're out in the wild, they're going to either get hit by a car, going to get torn up by something that's bigger than them,
Coyote,
or
fox, fisher cat.
Or like this one kitty that showed up here at the studio a couple of weeks ago. It was really tragic.
Yeah.
There was a little kitty that showed up here. It had worms crawling out of its anus, and it was literally dying when it arrived here because it had been outside. And yeah, it was likely tapeworm that ended up ending its life. And it literally died in Renee's arms as you and her, Cody, drove to the veterinary clinic in the middle of the night.
Trying to rescue the cat.
We had to get to Manchester because there wasn't a 24-hour clinic in Keene.
Now, at that point, that cat was so out of it that it wouldn't have been able to refuse anything, right? Like, it was just so weak and so out of it. Had you forced a pill on it or forced some sort of shot into it, it wouldn't have been even really able to complain about it at that point. Would that have made it okay if the cat can't fight back, if it can't give you any kind of verbal or physical indication that it doesn't want the pill?
It was in a state of helplessness at that point. There was nothing it could have done. He needed somebody to care for it, and I'm not going to say, when I've got a dying animal with me, I'm not sitting here debating, the morality of any of this. I'm like, this cat needs help. We're driving to the clinic. We're going to get there now. You got to make split-second decisions. It's not like you're sitting down thinking about a trolley problem. No, you are driving your cat to the veterinarians.
What were you saying, Johnson?
Yeah, if a cat can't or won't take its medicine, then it needs someone to care for it.
Yeah. I agree with these guys.
I don't know. Maybe it comes down to an issue of consent overall then. I mean,
the cat doesn't understand why it needs to take the medicine. How can it consent to taking medicine? It doesn't know
that's
the
where I think it creates a market for somebody to develop some type of product where humans and cats can communicate more effectively.
I'm sure that there are people who would love to do that, and there are probably people working on it. Thanks for the call tonight, Phoenix. Appreciate it. Great idea. I mean, I think that'd be wonderful to be able to communicate with animals, and they certainly, they've been studying dolphins and chimpanzees as well to teach them various different words. I believe a dolphin can know hundreds of words, and
not only that, they've got regional dialects. So you can grab a dolphin from one area. It might have a certain language it's learned in that regional culture. But you take a dolphin from somewhere completely else, and they've got a whole different language, just like people do.
Southern dolphins from Miami, they're all like, and they're out in California, like
they're saying the dolphin version of "I tell you what, boy."
There's it's not unbelievable to think that they have like phone programs now that can actually literally translate people speaking on the fly. Doesn't that exist? Okay, so I've never tried it myself. I've just heard that it exists. So you've already got it to where you can actually have a phone, a smartphone, know what people are saying that you can't translate yourself, and it will tell you those things. And you can also like take pictures or live video of signs in other languages, and it'll translate that too. So it's only a matter of time before someone figures out how to make the Dolphin app where you can actually talk to dolphins.
Yeah, but when it comes to cats specifically, their method of communication is more in emotion and body language. If you can pick up on the vibe your pet is putting out, then you're going to know what emotional state it's in. And, that's the thing is like, communication, only a small amount of that is words.
That's true.
You got to pay attention to their facial expressions, body language, the vibes they're putting out. If you can practice that, then you can learn to know what your cat's thinking.
So let's do it. Ready? Yes, translation software exists.
I can't hear it. It's too far away. Stand by. Free Talk Live.
People who can afford a LASIK procedure sure are lucky. Imagine being able to throw away your contacts and glasses. Imagine waking up tomorrow with 20/20 vision. Too bad everyone can't afford LASIK. Well, guess what? There's a company that agrees with you. TLC Laser Eye Centers is now offering great prices on high-quality LASIK to make it affordable for everyone. That means you get the latest FDA-approved all-laser LASIK technology for less than what others charge. And if you call right now, we'll schedule a free appointment so you can discover if LASIK is right for you. Results may vary. Call 1-800-929-5733. Even better, if you're one of the first 100 callers, ask about an extra $400 off your all-laser LASIK procedure. That's $200 off per eye. We've already performed over 2 million procedures. Let us help you. Discover how you can get the quality LASIK experience you deserve for less than what others charge. For your free appointment, call 1-800-929-5733. 1-800-929-5733.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
This is your Robertson Roberts Brokerage Daily Precious Metals Update. In early trading Tuesday, gold is $4 higher at $1,260 per ounce. Silver is 11 cents higher at $17.63 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at $636 US. Robertson Roberts has been helping clients buying and selling precious metals for nearly 40 years. Call Robertson Roberts Brokerage today at 800-874-9760 or visit us online at rrbi.co.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Join us on the radio and bring up anything you want, whether it's force feeding animals pills or anything you want to discuss. It goes here on Free Talk Live. We'll come back to talk about psychopaths here in a little bit. 855-450-FREE is our toll-free number. That's 855-450-3733. And we do have a studio kitty in here who is being rambunctious and causing issues. We have a kitty cam now. You can go and watch it at cam.freetalklive.com.
I hope he's not still tweaking on catnip. I kind of gave him a lot earlier.
That's cam.freetalklive.com if you want to check the studio cam feed out and see the orange kitty in here. We'll continue with your calls, your thoughts. You can bring up anything that you want. Also, entrepreneurship, progress, and innovation. You can achieve personal success while helping to create a prosperous society. As Ludwig von Mises said, economics deals with society's fundamental problems. It is the main and proper study of every citizen. Visit fee.org/FTL for free online lessons perfect for the classroom or self-study. The course is Economics in One Day. It's easy to understand, but will impart upon you an understanding of economics. An understanding of economics greater than school ever could. For over 70 years, the Foundation for Economic Education has been providing free resources to teachers and students. Start today at no charge at fee.org/FTL. That's fee.org/FTL and learn why entrepreneurship matters. As we continue with your calls and thoughts, we've got Rudy on the line in Arizona. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Rudy.
Hey, guys. You said there's an address for a cat cam?
Cam.freetalklive.com.
Cool. Yeah, I'm a cat dude. I can tell you how that man needs to, what he needs to do to give the pill to the cat. I mean, the cat knows the pill's coming anyway. It's been happening all life. All the cat wants is somebody that's competent. And you need two people. Someone holds the cat. You know how you put your hands underneath the cat's front arms and you can't do nothing? After you put on a like a Levi jacket, something to protect yourself, basically. And when you have the cat underneath the front arms, you stick your finger at the back of his jaw and push towards the middle of his throat, and he will lean his head back and open up his mouth all the way, and you just throw the pill as far back as you can, close the mouth, and you just blow as hard as you can on his nose, and the cat will swallow.
Yep. Good advice. Thanks, Rudy, for the call tonight. Yep. Go ahead.
And get one of those packages of tuna that comes in a foil pack.
Mm-hmm.
A little treat every time.
They also have those. They have like Greenies. The Greenies brand makes these little pill containers that are made out of food, so you can put the pill it's almost like a food clay that you kind of wrap around a pill, and they can eat the pill that way too.
Nice.
But I use a little syringe.
What's the name of the studio cat?
His name is Tails.
Tails. And my cats are really good. I've got two cats myself, and they're both really good about taking the medicine. And they both, they'll just take it. I mean, I just put it a little bit at a time, and they just swallow it, and gentle, and they just.
I don't know if Liberty Phoenix, and by the way, Rudy hung up there. Thanks for the call, man. I don't know if Liberty Phoenix was serious in that he was really having a concern over whether or not he should force feed a pill that could help a kitty to the kitty. But I mean, if you're going to take that to that level, then you should also have a concern with using duplicity, right? Like if it's a concern to force the pill down the cat's throat, shouldn't it also be an equal concern to trick the cat into taking the pill?
Yeah.
Right, now you've engaged in fraud against the cat. I mean,
force or fraud, those are your two options there, apparently.
Right. And, let's take this to a larger level. I mean, it's one thing
Was it fraud? What if you tell the cat as you're giving it the pill, there's a pill in this. It's food, but there's a pill in there.
So I think there's a bigger discussion that we can have. What about forcing pills on humans? Okay, so now let's talk about human beings, equal level, purportedly. We've had a situation where, there has been a crazy person who wasn't originally crazy, but The individual stayed up too long. And no, it wasn't me, although this happened to me similarly back in 2007 or 2008 or 7 or whenever it was. But I don't. Anyway, this is a more recent example. There was somebody who was here in Keene. I won't say who it was, but somebody was here in Keene, stayed up too long, went insane. And, was basically dreaming while he was awake. Essentially, eyes were open, but he was dreaming and essentially hallucinating because of that.
Yeah, I've been there.
It's a scary, scary place to be. I don't recommend anyone ever go there. But that's where he was, and somebody recommended that he take this antipsychotic medication that somehow we were able to get our hands on. And so there was some, debate of whether or not is it wrong to take a human being who is purportedly your friend who needs help and does not have the wherewithal.
I just needed a good hit of a tranq gun.
Well, there's an argument for that too. But the question is it wrong for a human being in a situation where they need some sort of assistance? They cannot take care of themselves. They have gone insane. Thankfully, I think temporarily insane, but nonetheless, to trick this individual into taking a pill that he otherwise may not want to take.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that, okay, if he was sober, then it would be wrong, but there'd be no reason to give him the pill. If he's in a sleep-deprived, psychotic state, then he's not going to be thinking clearly.
No.
And it goes back to the same thing. You're in a state of mind of complete helplessness. You don't know what's right for you. And somebody else, and we're not talking about somebody who wants to do something malicious. We're not talking about like a Bill Cosby situation, like, I'm going to see what I can do. Like, no, we're talking about, we're concerned for this person that can't make decisions right now. And I say go for it.
But the non-aggression principle says you can't do that.
I'm just thinking Bill Cosby's situation. What is he hiding pills in pudding?
Jello pudding pops, right?
You're going to put the Jello pudding pop down your throat.
Then you'll put something else. No, never mind.
Yeah.
So this is a tough question, though, because the libertarians have the non-aggression principle, which says you shouldn't initiate force against another person. That you shouldn't do that. And
I think it's
in that
preferable.
situation, you are violating the non-aggression principle, aren't you?
Maybe, okay, yeah. But it's preferable behavior. It's something to think about. Yeah, try to live by. But life is not black and white. There's going to be situations where you just
the crazy person situation brings up some very hard questions for libertarians.
Yeah.
Because how else do you deal with that?
Sometimes
do you just let this madman go roaming about the neighborhood before the police pick him up and put him into some sort of mental facility,
right?
And then or maybe charge him with some sort of criminal act because this guy was not with it in any way, shape, or form.
You let someone like that wander around by themselves, they could hurt themselves.
They could hurt themselves.
They could
fall
hurt
off someone
a bridge.
else.
I mean, there's so many.
The dude had a gun on him at the beginning of this.
It's even worse.
And he was forcibly disarmed.
I'm not against that. I'm really not.
Right. So, there's a bunch of theory, and then there's what happens in reality. Now, at the very least, libertarians are aware of this non-aggression principle, so at least they would know if they were violating it, right? Like, you are aware that you're violating the non-aggression principle, but presumably this person, if they were sane, would want you to.
Right.
That this is what they would want.
There's also a reason why it's called the principle.
Right. There are exceptions.
It's not the non-aggression law.
Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE. But what do you think about it? You can join us here, share your opinion, 855-450-FREE, or join us on Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. You can bring up anything that you want as well. And coming up, we'll talk about psychopaths, who are people who violate the non-aggression principle regularly, and they don't care what they're doing. It's Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Want to build a maintenance-free, low and slow charcoal briquette fire that burns for hours for free? MeatMastersRadio.com will show you how to build a low-temp charcoal fire that's guaranteed fiddle-proof. It's easy and free. MeatMastersRadio.com teaches charcoal barbecue skills on new topics every week. Go to MeatMastersRadio.com. That's MeatMastersRadio.com.
When you're coping with bad news and the news media come calling, and they will, don't clam up. As notorious political figures find out the hard way, the cover-up can be worse than the crime. So get out in front of unfavorable news about your company, your group, or organization, or yourself. The sooner you confront a negative story, the sooner it will be over. Responding as quickly to negative stories as you do to positive ones enhances your credibility. Hiding embarrassing information or lying will do more damage than damage control. Never stonewall. Tell your side of the story, use specifics, and detail what corrective action has already been taken. Respond in kind. If the issue is emotional, don't sound like a cold, unemotional Mr. Spock. For more tips on critical communication skills for the way things are now, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. You may already know about the Free Talk Live audio-on-demand phone line at 641-793-9660. Did you know that not only can you listen to Free Talk Live via your phone, you can also leave a message and have it delivered to Free Talk Live's hosts? To leave us your thoughts, just dial 641-793-9660. That's 641-793-9660. Press 2 for Free Talk Live, and then hit 0 to leave your message.
Free Talk Live.
For the listeners, each talk show has like a, you're in the Joe Blow Army, or, you know, the Ditto Heads. Do the lefties have it too?
I couldn't tell you.
Ed Heads, isn't?
Yep, Ed Heads.
Yeah, Ed Heads. So they all have them. I really want to hear from you.
I'd like to rename our listeners Mindless Free Talk Live Zombies. What do you think?
Free Talk Live automatons.
Call in if you're a mindless Free Talk Live zombie.
What does it mean to you to be left? What does it mean to you
progressive?
To be right? What does it mean to you to be conservative? What does it mean to you to be liberal? I think they're very vague concepts that pit people against one another. Many people who otherwise, in the absence of being able to plaster themselves with that label, might find out they've got an awful lot in common.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free and join us here at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Plus, we've got Skype. You can Skype into the show here at username LRN.FM. Roger Ver, a.k.a. Bitcoin Jesus, believes that the greatest threat to Bitcoin comes from the inside. There are those in the Bitcoin community that do not want to see Bitcoin grow, and they're holding back the increase of the block size to 2 megabytes. Now, a new Bitcoin client has been introduced, and it has an increased block size and is supported by Roger Ver. Recently, via BTC, the fifth largest miner, switched exclusively to Bitcoin Unlimited, and Bitcoin prices spiked 5%. Coincidence? Most observers don't think so. Bitcoin should not be held back by a few, and you can learn more at bitcoinunlimited.info. That's bitcoinunlimited.info. I downloaded the Bitcoin Unlimited client this week, and it is running right now on the LRN studio computer here. So definitely support the ideas there of increasing the block size to more than what it is right now. It's 1 megabyte right now. They want to increase it to 2 and then perhaps more in the future. BitcoinUnlimited.info. Let's go to your calls and thoughts. We got Gene, the Christian anarchist. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Gene.
Hello, guys. I'll pull over here in a second. I can't pull over right where I'm at, but I wanted to call and let people know that they really need to start supporting Hillary because, she can't be touched. There's no way she's going to lose this election. And it's obvious from all of the emails that have been released that this girl is Teflon. There's nothing going to ever stick to her. Nothing's ever going to happen to her. She's still going to win the election. She will be the next president. People need to get on the bandwagon before it's too late. Vince Foster, he made some wrong moves somewhere, and they will next year, probably mid-2017, they're going to have that list where people will start getting rounded up and put into cages and taken care of if they're not on the right team. So for your own good, for everybody's good, I'm telling you, you need to start supporting Hillary right now. Don't wait.
So you're saying if you don't support Hillary, there's a chance that they'll execute you?
Well, they'll round you up. I don't know if they're going to be so drastic as to, gas everybody or anything, but they'll definitely round you up, stick you in cages, and make sure that you get re-educated, probably. I'm going to guess that if they're going to go for re-education.
Well, there have long been conspiracy theories about so-called FEMA camps, which are purportedly slated at some point for some sort of mass roundups of Americans. And it's not to say that it's unbelievable because, well, it happened in the past. They did round up, for instance, Japanese and I believe some German Americans back during World War II. So, I mean, it's not unprecedented. It's not impossible to believe that it couldn't happen again. But ultimately, the claims about the FEMA camps are pretty ridiculous, and they've been there have been a lot of holes poked into that. So I doubt they're going to be doing rounding up political opponents, but I suppose it could happen, Gene.
Well, they could just then execute you because that would be a whole lot simpler.
Don't you think that would make the American public mad enough to actually start the whole revolution thing, though? I mean, they're going to play their cards right. I mean, maybe they do want to round us up, and maybe they've got plans, but, they can only push it so much at once.
The American people have become a bunch of wusses. I mean, look at what's happened since World War II. Everybody is paying in half of what they make. All the Americans are slaves. All the Americans are bought out. They're part of the system. They actually worship the symbol of their oppression. Before every sports game and everything else, they worship. So I'm telling you, I'm warning you guys. You're going to be on that list. I'm officially supporting Hillary now. I'm going to change the Ron Paul Corvette is now going to be rewrapped. It's going to be the Hillary Corvette. And I'm ready to.
If there's a list, I'm already on it, and I'm not going to worry myself about it.
I'm definitely on the list, and I've been there for a long time.
Late. It's not too late. You can repent.
Well, there's more worth living for than pandering to politicians and politics and the political process. And thank you for the call, Gene. I know you've got your tongue firmly planted in your cheek there. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. But, being afraid of the federal government is what has gotten us to this point, or being afraid of the government in general is what has gotten us to this point, where people are obedient, they are serfs, they are slaves, and, most of them like it. They don't even realize it. As I believe it was Harriet Tubman said back in the day of the Underground Railroad, that she freed 1,000 slaves, and she could have freed 1,000 more if only they had realized they were slaves. Let's go to TJ the Spy. He's on the line, I believe, in Colorado from Skype. Hey, TJ.
Actually, I'm in Dinwiddie, Virginia, my good sir.
Okay, you're in Dinwiddie now. You are just traveling all over the place.
Yes,
you were in Colorado last night.
Yes, we were.
All right, then. So what's up?
Anyway, well, I would like to say, as you know, I lost my lawyer virginity, so to speak, and made my first official entry of appearance as James's attorney in the state of New Hampshire in his annulment. So for those of you who don't know, Mr. James Cleveland is known as Robin Hood.
Mm-hmm.
And he was known as a person who would go around filling the parking meters, and he got sued by the city, and that's another interesting story. But he was out filming the police one day, and at the request of a New Hampshire trooper, he complied twice with backing up, and then the third time he was asked to back up, Mr. Cleveland said, well, I think you're just asking me to not film you because you don't want to be filmed, and that is an unlawful order, and he stood his ground. And today the court I should say we're going to officially announce that the court has corrected a wrong. So not only was James acquitted by a jury of disorderly conduct, and the state declined to prosecute him on he was acquitted of resisting arrest, and he was no prosecutor. In other words, the state declined to prosecute him further on the resisting arrest, disorderly conduct charge.
Mm-hmm.
But the arrest is still there when they run your fingerprints. So he still has to say, have you ever been arrested? Until today, as of September 27th, I'm holding in my hand with a nice shiny gold seal and the Keene District Court, Mr. Cleveland's certificate of annulment. Both charges of disorderly conduct and resisting arrest have been officially expunged and annulled from his record.
Wow.
On the ground, he should have never been arrested in the first place, is basically what the court has said. That's what this certificate means.
And was it Judge Burke who issued the order? Or the other judge?
It was Judge Kissinger.
Kissinger from the Superior Court.
Judge Kissinger. Yeah.
Interesting. Yep. Well, good. I'm really glad to hear that. By the way, for listeners that don't know, James Cleveland is a former co-host here on Free Talk Live, as is TJ, and he was heroically arrested just doing his job, being in the media at a scene of a potential suicide, which ended up being a suicide here in Keene back in 2014 in the summertime. And that's the case that you're referring to. The video, I don't think has ever come out. I hope that at some point, TJ, that can actually happen. He
was waiting until today, my good friend. I knew you were going to say that. And as you know, I love being an attorney, even though I'm not licensed by the state. I have the nasty habit of being a bad government slave sometimes. I practice the law without a license. But I'm pretty sure I'm solid legally on First Amendment grounds. But anyway, today we were in Dinwiddie, and we went out in the middle of nowhere. It's in the middle of the mountains, and they have this big, beautiful courthouse. And in front, with ominous red letters, it says, "Warning: no video cameras, recording devices, books, papers, pens, chains, weapons." And so, yes, it was like, how can we torture the slaves more? Like when you come in for jury duty, you're not even allowed to bring a book to read. You can't bring a newspaper to read. If you're a defendant, you're not allowed to bring anything unless you're an attorney.
It's ridiculous.
You're representing yourself. You can bring in a notepad. And I just said, Your Honor, I was going in there, and one of these nice black bailiffs said, "Sir, you can't have that little 12-inch chain on your wallet in here." And I'm just thinking, do I really want to be honest? Because I was pretty baked at that point. And you know that I sometimes say things that are just like, well, bailiff, you have a gun. I don't. You have a bulletproof vest. I don't. I think the tactical advantage would go to you here in a chain fight.
It's interesting. I don't know if you have more of your story. You can hang on if so, TJ. It's interesting the drastic differences between some courthouses. Here in New Hampshire, you can go into a courthouse as just somebody watching, and you can have your smartphone with you. Not a problem. They just don't want you to have it making noise. Yeah. But in this courthouse, you can't even bring anything. You've said it yourself. We need a healthcare system that focuses on health, not sickness. Health insurance pays for treating sickness but gives you nothing for being healthy. There's a free market healthcare company that gives you freedom from health insurance. They give you a proactive health assessment daily, no charge 24-hour access to doctors. Check them out right now at healthexcellenceselect.com. Any kind of doctor, traditional, integrative, chiropractic, acupuncture, and massage. You'll love the service and price. healthexcellenceselect.com. healthexcellenceselect.com.
If you had one day to teach someone economics, what would you say? We would say that innovation and prosperity requires economic freedom. Visit fee.org/courses and check out Economics in One Day, a crash course in free market economics that you can present to your community. For over 70 years, the Foundation for Economic Education has been a champion of liberty. Start today at no charge by visiting fee.org/courses and learn why economic freedom matters.
Are you happy washing your hands with harsh chemicals? Are you happy doing laundry with detergents? Are you happy paying high prices? Find your happiness with Pure Soap. These all-natural, earth-friendly Pure Soaps are the very best you've ever used. Buy in bulk. Get a 12, 36, or 48-month supply, or get items individually and still save big. You're getting soap products twice as good as what you're using now, earth-friendly and natural soaps. Your family deserves the best. Happiness is 5starsoap.com. Why not put your money up the drain for a change? See them at 5starsoap.com or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog. Cal Ben Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars. and give you good old-fashioned real soaps that are triple concentrated. Soaps made from vegetable and coconut oils. See their full selection of soaps at 5starsoap.com. That's F-I-V-E starsoap.com. Or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. DVD, books, music, instruments, periodicals, computers, software, electronics, photo, cell phones, office products, home and garden, bed and bath, furniture, kitchen, pet supplies, automotive, hardware, apparel, shoes, jewelry, grocery, healthcare, sports and outdoors, toys, games, used, and more. It's a department store at your fingertips. Shop.freetalklive.com. Get all your shopping done, get a great deal, and a portion of your purchase goes to benefit Free Talk Live when you enter Amazon via shop.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free. Join us here if you want. You can bring up anything here at 855-450 free. That's 855-450-3733. If you support Free Talk Live, one of the things you can do to show that support is shop with us. You go to shop.freetalklive.com. Enter Amazon through the links you'll find there. There's Amazon UK, Canada, and US. You go into the right Amazon for you, Free Talk Live gets a cut of the sale. It's that simple. It's the same great Amazon prices that you're used to, the same super shipping deals and Amazon Prime and all that. So just go to shop.freetalklive.com. As we go back to the phones here, we've got TJ the Spy on the line with us in Dinwiddie, Virginia, where you don't get to bring anything into court unless you're the defendant, and then they'll let you have a pencil and a pad of paper, and that's about it.
Yes, huh? And you say, why would I want to go to a place, an ungodly place like that? And that's because, James, as you might recall, back in 2015, March of 2015, he was driving through Dinwiddie, Virginia, in his box truck, and the officer made a U-turn and said, I spotted your cracked windshield on a dark night. I was traveling the opposite direction at 50 miles an hour. They said, no, honey, he just saw you, and said, box truck drug dealer,
right,
and pulled you over, and then made up the reason ex post facto. And then he wanted to do a search, a pat down, and James invoked correctly his Fourth Amendment right to not be searched, and he made a video of this. And ultimately, they brought out the DA, and the DA said, well, we can seize and we'll obtain a search warrant. And they had retained modafinil, which is a Schedule IV controlled compound, very similar to mild stimulant that James had a prescription for. And they charged him with possession of modafinil without a prescription. Now, they totally messed up here because he did have a prescription. And so he spent $1,500, and they dropped the charges. And
he spent the money on an attorney, by the way, just to be clear, that $1,500 was on an attorney.
Remember, if you spend $1,500, he had to go to jail for 2 days.
Right.
He did have to spend $1,500. You remember you were there when everything went falling apart, so you helped him out of that difficult scrape. And I said, yeah, it's very scary. You have no money. If they take your, like, think about it. If an officer pulled you over on the side of the road right now and said, hand over your car keys, your wallet, your ID, your credit cards, everything was in the police custody, and they say, okay, you're free to go.
What do you do?
Where am I going to go to?
Right.
I mean, a hotel, they require a driver's license.
Thank goodness there was a cop block guy who was in the area who was able to assist. He actually received, I think I Western Unioned money down to him. And so this dude, I didn't know who he was, right? Like, I never talked to the dude before, but he was recommended by somebody who I knew who was in cop block down in Virginia. And so I just wired him with $1,000, and he used that to bail James out in the middle of the night. And then, sadly, a few weeks later, the same cop block guy died in a head-on car collision. He was in a car with 3 other cop blockers from Virginia, and they all died in this head-on collision. So the dude... I mean, it's a tragic story, and I mean, the least of the problems at that point was the $1,000. I mean, I felt terrible about that, but later I finally got it back.
Instructed me to get to the point, Ian.
Go ahead.
My client instructed me to get to the point. He said, well, anyway, today we were in court, and the prosecutor said, we have no objections to granting this position. And I said something is wrong because they always object no matter what. Even if it's something silly, they'll just make up a reason. And so James very cleverly asked, and it was very brilliant, well, wait a minute, why aren't you guys objecting? And she hemmed and hawed, but then admitted that the officer who had arrested James had been fired for lying.
Interesting.
And I said, hold it. Whoa, back up. Anytime the government's saying, yeah, we'll give you what you want, just go away, don't say anything, something's being hidden. And I said, you know what? I love computers because they allow you to go through the court records and see what is there. And I said, I would love to have a copy of every court case this guy has touched. What was he fired? Did he perjure himself on the witness stand? Did he plant evidence? Because if he planted evidence or if he coerced a suspect, that, he might have had 500 cases.
It
Send
can
a letter
invalidate
to all
all
of those
cases.
500 defendants.
Yep.
Yes, because that was the thing. It's like, well, yeah, a lot of people, a good attorney will find out about that and say, oh, let's move to have a new trial. And, I said to the poor prosecuting attorney, yeah, you guys messed up because you should have known this guy was planting evidence or this trooper was involved in something hinky. That's what I'm digging around.
Wow.
Because, the one thing about being a spy, you can kind of detect when the people in power don't want you nosing around, but they can't really do anything to stop you from nosing around. So they just kind of like, hopefully he won't look here. Hopefully he won't look there. And so I'm kind of like looking to all the court clerks being like, where should I start looking? And they're like, I don't know. I got a job here to protect. On the other hand, if they write down on a piece of paper, I think this court case would be very interesting. I'd say, gosh bless disgruntled government employees,
So did you get a tip from one of the court employees?
Well, that's what I'm following up because it's like, well, I got a docket number and I'm just like, well, I need to know how to pull, like, is there a Freedom of Information Act request or something? Because I said,
sure there is.
It's very vague. And it's like, like she said, the officer is no longer with our department. He was fired for lying.
So what are you doing? Are you going to stay there? Are you staying there in Dinwiddie to continue this investigation on this officer?
I said, I'm happy to do that as long as I'm not stoned because not that I couldn't be a lawyer stoned because, it's a dreadfully boring job. You go in there, everyone looks like death warmed over. I mean, you're just like, oh, God, I hate my job. And I said, well, I would, too, if I had to listen to this boring stuff all day.
Yeah, for sure.
Where it's the same story. And I said it was very interesting because James walks in there, and every time they say, yeah, I'm a pro se petitioner, they look and go, well, you don't act like a pro se petitioner.
Because pro ses normally don't know what they're doing. Yeah, for sure. Hey, TJ, will you do us a favor and keep us in the loop on this as it develops? I mean, I'm always interested to hear what's going on with you guys. You're always up to something interesting. And are you going to write something up about either of these?
Well, absolutely. We'll put the certificate of annulment up. And so officially now, thanks to the heart, it's been a year, but James has never been arrested. He has no criminal record, and I can say that officially. And Mr. Cleveland would like to say a few words. If you don't want to bring him on now, I can bring him on the next segment. He would just like to say he's pleased that he didn't beat the system. it took a long time, but justice prevailed, and the officer who arrested him, thank goodness, was doing something hinky.
Well, it's only the semblance that justice has prevailed. I mean, he's spent 2 years of his life in this conflict, or both of these conflicts, and there's not going to be any kind of money that's going to be given to him, right?
Well, it's obvious how they're paying for. Gosh darn it, I never saw so many police officers as I have on the interstates of Virginia. And I'm like, how are these people getting paid? And then it's like, oh, civil asset forfeiture. Mm-hmm. You pull all over the people. You take 2,000 or 3,000 and say, look, it would be 10, 20,000 for you to go to court and get it back. Now, if you agree to let us have the money, we won't take your children away. And I mean, God help you if you have any type of drug paraphernalia, they'll take the car now too. Or if you're a guy looking for a girl, you paid $20 for an intimate massage with a happy ending, they can take your car now too. So I mean, civil asset forfeiture is very brutal here, and you can tell because they have a very nice courthouse with marble, and it's like it's this big ominous building.
Yep, no doubt.
Anyway,
hey, TJ, if you want to have James call in, you should do that on a different phone, or maybe get a better signal, because we're losing some packets. It's not not unintelligible. Thanks for the call, dude. I appreciate it. It's not unintelligible, but it wasn't the best either. So toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Kudos to James Cleveland, former co-host here, for actually having his record annulled. That's a level
that's awesome
that I've never seen anyone go to before.
Right.
So congratulations to him for that. Let's go to David. He's in California. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, David.
Hey, howdy, y'all. Hey, I remember, trying to think, 6 months ago, didn't the radio studios get raided?
They sure did.
And was that the case where he was manning the studios, and is that the case that he was talking about?
No. That there is no case there. There's no charges that have been filed against anyone in that FBI raid of the LRN studios. But no, what he's referring to is where James Cleveland was arrested on 2 different occasions. One for recording video of a scene outside of a house where a man was suicidal here in Keene, and he didn't leave in the way that the police wanted him to, and so they arrested him illegally there. And then another one where he was arrested simply for driving through Dinwiddie, Virginia in a box truck.
Oh, I see. The first one, was he acting as a journalist?
Yep, absolutely.
They said he was interfering, basically?
They basically said, move back. He moved back, and then they told him to move back again, and he said, no, I'm fine here. I'm going to stay here. And then they arrested him for disorderly conduct.
Is the show just over? I hear the music.
No, not at all. Stand by, David. We'll bring it back here in hour number 3. Coming up here. Plus, I do want to talk about psychopaths, and I know, Johnson, you do as well. We'll get into that when we get the chance. Lots of phone calls tonight, which we always enjoy. Our toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. You can take control of the airwaves. This is Free Talk Live. Hour 3 is coming up.
For Bitcoin to be ubiquitous, people need to use it. For people to use it, they must have it. How can we get Bitcoin into more hands? Well, tipping might be a great way. What if you could include a bonus Bitcoin tip along with your regular tip to a server? What if that Bitcoin returned to you if unclaimed after 30 days? An attractive business card-sized Bitcoin tip that is easily claimed, gives instructions on wallets, spending, and returns to the user if unused? Tip.freetalklive.com. Tip.freetalklive.com.
Via BTC is the 5th largest mining pool in the world by hash rate distribution. They recently announced they had officially mined their first Bitcoin Unlimited block on October 10th with a Coinbase size vote of 2 megabytes. Almost immediately after Via BTC's appearance at Roger Vere's free speech party in Milan, Italy, the pool announced they would be allocating 100% of their hashing power to mining Bitcoin Unlimited blocks. The team has confirmed they are running Bitcoin Unlimited. To learn more, go to news.bitcoin.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at SurvivorMax.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love. But make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, October 18th, 2016. Silver is trading at $17.61 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,260 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $641. Antiwar.com reports following calls by U.S. and British officials for a ceasefire in Yemen, the pro-Saudi Hadi government and the Shiite Houthis have agreed to implement a 72-hour ceasefire with possibilities of extensions if all goes well. The truce is set to begin late Wednesday. UN officials say the ceasefire will allow for an increase in humanitarian aid deliveries. The pro-Saudi forces condition the truce on aid coming into their portion of Taiz. Getting aid into the Houthi parts of the country, by contrast, is more heavily dependent on getting ships through the Saudi naval blockade. On that count, the Saudis did promise to support the ceasefire, but did not necessarily say they'll be participating in it. That could be problematic, as previous ceasefires have often faltered, with the Yemeni factions mostly holding their fire and Saudi bombs raining down throughout. There is no indication that any sort of peace talks are being planned for the 72-hour ceasefire, and both sides are likely waiting to see if this holds longer than previous efforts. The backing by U.S. and British officials may give a little more momentum to this round, though it remains to be seen if that means the calms will last longer or just that more effort will be made by both sides to blame the other for the failure. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports the attorney for a central witness in the 2012 child sex abuse case against former Penn State football assistant coach Jerry Sandusky argued on Monday that his client was effectively ostracized by the university for coming forward with the allegations. In his opening remarks for the civil case, attorney Elliot Strogoff told jurors that simply reporting the crimes effectively ended his client Mike McQuarrie's career with the university. McQuarrie was one of the main witnesses for prosecutors during Sandusky's original trial 4 years ago. As an assistant coach under famed head football coach Joe Paterno, McQuarrie told school officials in 2001 that he witnessed Sandusky sexually assault a young boy in the locker room. After he came forward to report the assault and when news of the scandal broke in 2011, Strogoff argued the university attempted to defame him in public statements and refused to renew his contract with the football team. The motive, he said, was to undermine McQuarrie's credibility in hopes that the case would go away. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com. Reuters reports the president of an organization representing U.S. and international police officials apologized on Monday for the role law enforcement has played in society's historical mistreatment of communities of color. The remarks by Terrence Cunningham, president of the International Association of Chiefs of Police, come amid a recent string of killings of minorities by officers that have sparked protest across the United States and calls for greater accountability in the use of deadly force. According to a transcript provided by the group, Cunningham, speaking at the group's convention in San Diego, did not mention any particular incident. Cunningham said there have been times when law enforcement officers, because of laws enacted by federal, state, and local governments, have been the face of oppression for far too many of our fellow citizens. Cunningham, who is the police chief in Wellesley, Massachusetts, near Boston, said it was also important for those critical of police to acknowledge that today's officers are not to blame for the injustices of the past. The IACP, which was founded more than 100 years ago, represents 20,000 law enforcement professionals from 100 countries countries. Attorney General Loretta Lynch, speaking to the IACP conference on Monday, called an announcement by the Department of Justice that in 2017 it would begin collecting data about law enforcement officers' use of force nationwide preliminary. But Lynch said the move represents the framework for initiatives that will allow all of us to gain what we have sorely lacked, an accurate picture of what is actually happening out in the field. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
An alarming new study finds that people suffering from stress-related disorders react poorly to being trapped in underwater elevators. A tired 398-month-old throws a tantrum, and a little clay thing is purchased at an arts festival. And now an eerily perfect recap of this week's news. The Catholic Church reversed its long-held stance against gay marriage this week after meeting Connecticut couple Tony and Craig. The vacationing pair dazzled the Pope and assorted clergy with their witty conversation and true loving affection for each other, leading Vatican officials to conclude that love is love and it's silly to put restrictions on it in this day and age. The Chinese people announced that they would be willing to forgive most of the United States' $1.16 trillion debt if Americans agreed to dress up in costumes and perform silly dances for them. Chinese officials encouraged U.S. citizens to wear sequined vests and prance around while slapping their big fat American tummies, promising that the more humiliating the performance, the more debt will be erased. In sports, NASCAR fans are deeply puzzled by a mysterious black family seen attending multiple races.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Join us and bring up anything you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Skype username is LRN.FM as we launch here into the third hour of the program. If we get the time, we'll talk about psychopaths, but Johnson tells me that the story he has might be a little bit too long. So still to come, though, we do have the story about Target apparently banning I guess they're no longer going to carry, or maybe it's just for this holiday season, they're not going to be carrying clown masks. We can talk about that and more. Of course, your calls come first, and I actually had quite a few callers tonight on this weekday edition of Free Talk Live. Our toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. And again, that's 855-450-3733. The Skype username, if you want to join us there, is LRN.FM. We go back to David in California. David, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian, Cody, and Johnson.
Oh, howdy, all.
Go ahead, David.
Yeah, I was interested in before, I guess toward the end of the last hour, you were talking about a strange incident in which a guy with a gun there was a difficulty in talking him down. And I've mentioned before that I study energy issues out here in San Francisco, and so I've been studying ISIS and the oil pipelines in the Middle East and, the origins of ISIS. And one of the websites that I look at is called Syrian Perspective. And there are a whole lot of comments in there about the people that are given to do the suicide bombings.
Okay.
The guys that'll drive a truck into a gateway or something like that and, suicide themselves. And apparently in the Middle East, the real tragedy of this is that ISIS will come along and extort somebody. They'll say, I'm going to kill your whole family if you don't do this. I'm going to, rape your mother, gullet your children, and but if you just drive this suicide truck into this checkpoint, you're going to not only get your 72 virgins, but you'll go down as a martyr. And so the idea of being extorted into to doing an extreme act is a pretty ugly one. And if you read a lot of old mystery books, 100 years ago when loan shark people would, for example, in the Prohibition days, nearly 100 years ago, they had trouble finding drivers to drive bootleg whiskey across the national border or something, and so they would extort people in the same way. If somebody owed too much in gambling debts to, one of the gambling kingpins, they'd get him to drive the truck, and if they made it, they'd write off their note. Otherwise, he'd do his time in jail.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was this extortion way that you don't necessarily you don't necessarily want to believe the hype that somebody is an insane Islamicist, when in fact it might be more accurate to just say that they were extorted.
They could be threatening to kill their family or something like that if they don't do what they're told. That's certainly a possibility, David. Thanks for the call tonight. Appreciate it. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's one of the things that they'll do with like sex slavery is like a girl will run away in Europe or wherever it is, at Eastern Europe or wherever it is that happens, and they'll end up in the hands of some sort of cartel, some kind of gang, and they'll basically say, hey, look, you're going to start working for us now. You're going to be turning tricks. You'll be giving us, most of the money from that. And if you don't do what we say, well, we know where your family lives. We know that your mom's name is this and your dad's name is that. And if you don't do what we say, if you try to run away from us, then we're going to go and kill your little sister.
Yeah, well,
stuff like that.
Unless Liam Neeson comes around and saves the day.
It's scary stuff, though, because that's real.
Find you.
Like, that actually happens. I haven't seen that movie that you're referencing,
okay.
But
good stuff.
Is it about sex slavery or something?
Yeah. They go on I believe his daughter goes on a trip to like see U2 or something stupid, and she gets abducted. Liam Neeson comes around. He makes a threatening phone call. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Just total badass. Good movie.
Go to your calls and thoughts here. James is in Virginia. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, James.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey, good. James Cleveland, former Free Talk Live co-host.
It is.
Hey, dude. Congratulations. You got your convictions here in New Hampshire annulled, and it wasn't quite clear if TJ was saying that the Dinwiddie ones were also annulled.
That's correct. So they're expunged is what they call it down here.
Excellent.
He got a little bit of the story wrong, but what really happened is the judge tried to call me, and I said, well, that's not me because that's, those names, all the letters are capitalized.
Did you really?
No.
No, okay.
And then I said, I'm not going to cross the bar because, you have gold fringes on the flag, and that means it's an admiralty court.
Yeah,
no,
you didn't
it was
do
pretty
that
ridiculous. The prosecutor basically admitted that the officer involved in my case was a liar. She put that on the record, and she also said he's no longer with the department.
Interesting.
And it kind of is interesting, too, that so I was doing a little bit of research because I was waiting to get the actual order from the judge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so you get expunged, right, and then you have to wait around for the clerks to do the paperwork. So I just started looking into Dinwiddie County. Okay, so Dinwiddie County is very small. Like, just to give you a picture, it has one restaurant, like the post office, one bank. It has a huge courthouse. It's like half, maybe 75% of the courthouse in Keene. It has a really nice public administration building, brand new shiny vehicles everywhere, fire department, school. My favorite was the Community Enrichment Center, whatever that is. And then they also had a Dinwiddie County training facility next to their elementary school, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah, population of Dinwiddie County, the entire county, is just not even quite 28,000 people. So that's pretty small.
And this is a huge county. I mean, it's like farmland country, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But they have two, like 85 and 95 connect there, so they have a major artery where they can pull people over. So that's their industry. They don't have like anything else that they do. So it's really like a scam county. If you're ever traveling through, I would say
stay
do
away.
The speed limit. 'Cause, yeah, like we got tailed, like going in and going out by Dinwiddie County Sheriff. So.
So you're still there? I mean, are you just waiting to get back to Colorado? What's your plan now?
Yeah, we're heading back to Colorado, but I was doing like some research, and just in the last 2 years, they have like 50 sheriff deputies. Just in the last 2 years, one deputy shot and killed his brother. He was charged with murder. One deputy pulled over his ex-girlfriend, beat her up and maced her. Now it's called on the dash cam.
Wow.
And then another deputy, or maybe the sheriff himself, he actually called a suspect the N-word during an interrogation. So, like, these are the caliber of officers that you're dealing with there.
Yeah,
I mean,
and there can't be that many of them. I mean, I understand that the government's pretty big considering the population, but I mean, how many officers could they possibly have? We're talking about a significant.
Have 50.
Yeah, so we're talking about a significant portion of them involved in some obvious corruption that they've been busted for already.
Yeah,
recently.
My guy, he was just like swept under the rug. like they didn't even have a news story about him, so I'm not even sure what he was lying about.
Yeah, that would be interesting to find that out, but I wouldn't blame you for wanting to get the hell out of that place and never look back. So we heard.
Yeah, I mean, like Virginia, TJ said it. The whole thing's a speed trap. It's the only state I've ever been to where they have signs like speed enforced by aircraft. I've never seen that anywhere else. And it's like
I've seen
every couple miles you go, you see a state police or sheriff deputy.
I feel like that might happen in other states. They just might not advertise it.
Yeah, you could be right.
The speed check by aircraft thing?
Yeah.
I've definitely seen it in Florida.
I really feel like they were doing that in Maine, but I can't really confirm
and
or
I
deny
think
it.
I've seen it in New Hampshire as well.
Yeah, they're all, radar detectors are also illegal in Virginia.
Yep, that's right. It's one of the few places where it's illegal to have those.
Aren't there some?
The total speed trap thing, it's just ridiculous. But
Aren't there some movies or like TV shows that have like taken place in Dinwiddie County? I feel like I've heard of Dinwiddie before.
It does sound familiar. I mean, besides James's arrest,
right?
I don't know. It's a good question, James. Good luck getting out of there, and thanks for the call tonight, man. I appreciate the update.
Oh, I got one more little joke real quick. So they wrote me a check. I got my filing fee back, and the problem is they wrote it in all caps letters.
Thanks for the call, James. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733.
You're admitting that to you.
It's Free Talk Live.
Every once in a while, you get information that's worth changing your life for. This is one such time. You can save up to and beyond 25% on all purchases at Amazon. You probably heard of Bitcoin and just not thought much about it. You certainly know that you can get competitive pricing at Amazon, but now you can get a 25% discount on nearly everything you need to live. I've just given you a huge raise, and all you have to do is claim it. You go to saveitpurse.com and open an account. Do this right now. Don't wait. Then you fund the account with Bitcoin. You can buy them through expresscoin.com with a check or money order. There are other ways to get Bitcoin, but that's fast, safe, and easy. This information is worth you changing the way you do things. Go to saveitpurse.com right now, get signed up, and cash in on the huge raise I'm offering you. 15 to 25% off of everything at Amazon through saveitpurse.com. It's saveatpurse.com.
Hi, this is Sophie Winnick, longtime distributor and user of Youngevity products. In the last few years, my family went through a crisis. Everything else in my life, including my business, had to be put on the back burner. Thankfully, life is getting back to normal now. But the one thing I never had to worry about was my business and my monthly commission. I've been a distributor for Youngevity for over 17 years, since before it was Youngevity. And I've got to say, the most amazing thing about this company is the people. While my family was in crisis, other distributors stepped in and helped my customers, simply because that's what Youngevity people do, even for people they don't know. For me, it has never been about getting rich. It was about a product I could stand behind, a company I could count on, and a monthly commission check that has never, not once, been late in 17 years. Youngevity is truly a business for everyone, even people who have too much to do. I'm Sophie Winnick. I'm just like you. I have a real life, real ups and downs, but I know I will always have Youngevity.
Are you tired of brown rust stains on your toilets, sinks, and clothes? Does your water smell and taste bad? Don't live with these problems anymore. HydroCare's revolutionary well water systems, available at Wave Home Solutions, gives you clean, healthy, great-tasting water from every faucet. They remove iron, hydrogen sulfide, sediment, and many other contaminants that are distasteful and damaging your fixtures. You'll be amazed how fresh and clean well water can be. Satisfaction guaranteed. Go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live shows 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything you want. Just dial in toll-free here. Take control of the airwaves. 855-450-FREE. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Cody,
and Johnson.
Healthcare's all messed up in the U.S. We need a healthcare system that focuses on health and not sickness. Now, of course, health insurance pays for treating sickness, but it gives you nothing for being healthy. And doesn't that incentivize illness instead of health? Well, there's a free market healthcare company that can give you freedom from health insurance. It's healthexcellenceselect.com. They give you a proactive health assessment daily and no-charge 24-hour access to doctors. HIPAA has messed up medical records so much that one doctor doesn't know what the others are doing. How about a medical information card to give to EMS, first responders, the emergency room, or whatever medical professional you want? You can check them out right now at healthexcellenceselect.com. Any kind of doctor, traditional, integrative, chiropractic, acupuncture, and massage. You'll love the service and price. healthexcellenceselect.com. Let's go to your calls and thoughts. Coming up, a nearly naked Hillary Clinton statue is sparking fury in New York City, or did this afternoon when it was unveiled. Let's go first, though, to David in New Mexico on via Skype. David, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Hey, yeah. I heard Sarah on the replay last night. I guess I got one voter to vote against, or to vote to not retain M. Monica Zamora for the Court of Appeals in New Mexico. And since she's up for retention, you guys are familiar with the retention elections for judges, right? Well, I guess you're not, because I heard you question that a bit.
No, yeah. Here in New Hampshire, they don't elect judges, but what she was saying was that she was voting to not retain the judges that were currently there. And I generally say, yeah, kick them all out. I mean, even if you don't know who a judge is, they're probably bad. So better to just get them out of the court rather than let them continue having that power and put somebody new into that position until we can finally abolish the state entirely.
Yeah, exactly. And that not just judges, but that goes for every politician, but
Sure.
Judges especially. Are you familiar with the retention system? Like I had said, I heard you question her on that because that's what it is here in New Mexico, is retention. Are you familiar with that?
No. What happens if people don't retain them?
Well, that almost never happens. That's the problem with retention. The state here finagled their way to go back to retention instead of the head-to-head elections, where all a judge needs to get. Well, first of all, when there's an empty judge slot, they're appointed, I believe, and in most cases or all cases by the governor.
Okay. And
then they serve out the whatever's remaining of that term they're appointed for, and then they go to one head-to-head election with any comers, and then whoever wins that election is in that judge's seat, and then all they have to do each time they're up for election is not go head-to-head with somebody, but simply get 57% of the vote. And that's not 57% of voters that vote, but it's of people that bother to vote for judges, which a lot of people just skip over that. Of those that vote for judges, all they need is 57% voting to retain as opposed to not retain, which means that by default you're almost guaranteed to permanently be retained. You see what I mean? And
people tend to vote for incumbents, and that's basically what's going on here. Oh, so-and-so is in the position, and they must be doing a good job, so we'll just keep them there. And that's what you're really working against.
That's the problem with it. Anyway, back to M. Monica Zamora.
Now, this is a judge who stole your kids from you or something?
That's what I say. Stole. She illegally adopted my children to another man. And like I say, it was illegal. I proved it was illegal with a unanimous decision at the Court of Appeals, which ironically she now sits on the Court of Appeals. But I got her decision vacated and my children returned back to the legal ownership of myself.
Okay.
And then she went on to get herself elected to that very Court of Appeals where I defeated her. And she did that by putting up, like I said, her family. There's 4 lawyers in her family. There's herself. Her father's what started, and I don't remember his first name, but he's retired. He was up in Santa Fe. And then her brother Gino is an attorney now for the school system in Santa Fe, and was previous to that he was with the city of Santa Fe. Gino's he's a pretty nice guy.
So what are you driving at here?
What I'm driving, retention. State of New Mexico. Everybody in New Mexico gets an opportunity to vote for or against judges for the Court of Appeals. Every single voter in the state of New Mexico. M. Monica Zamora.
All right, thank you, David. We're not going to do campaigning here on Free Talk Live, but thank you for the call. If you'd like to, you can buy advertisements on the local radio station that carries us there, which is Kiva, and I'm sure they'd be happy to have you purchase ads.
It would be a
against
much
her.
more effective way of doing what you're trying to do.
Yeah, we just don't.
Get some signs.
It's one thing to talk about retention and why that's a bad idea. It's another thing to
one mention on one show is not going to do what you're trying to do.
To advocate for on a show that's national, by the way. So if everybody calls in and starts talking about some local race and who they support, it's going to be boring
I'll tell you right
as
now,
hell.
I don't care. I know you kind of care, but
no, I don't. Why would
I
care? Why would I care? I don't live in New Mexico.
Well, I mean, his story is compelling, but yeah, it's still local politics.
If I cared about other places, I would, go there. I care about New Hampshire, and even then, I don't talk about the local state house races here on the radio.
You knew his story going into that. I didn't know it until he brought it up when about this judge taking his kids. I kind of wish I had led with that, but because it's like up until that point, I'm like, what is local politics? What you're rambling, but then he said, like why he was, against this judge. And it's like, oh, now this story actually makes some sense, and there's some, meat to it, but.
Yeah, I could have mentioned that in the beginning of his call, but I didn't know if that was where he was going with the whole call. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Speaking of politics, in New York City today, according to the New York Post, a thin-skinned Hillary Clinton supporter went bananas after spotting a nearly nude, hoofed statue of the Democratic presidential nominee erected in Lower Manhattan on Tuesday morning. The misshapen caricature
She's a freaking demon.
popped up outside the Bowling Green subway station at around 6 a.m., causing
they rub the statue in like old match heads, make it smell like sulfur.
Causing a rush hour commotion. What is that about? The sulfur thing?
It's because she's a demon.
She's a freaking demon.
Is that a demon thing? Demons smell like sulfur?
Sulfur is brimstone. It's the smell of brimstone from the fires of hell.
See, I didn't even know about that. You learn something new every night here. So apparently the irate woman knocked down the statue, breaking off parts of it and sitting on it at around 7 a.m. while the unnamed artist and male supporter tried to save it, said witnesses.
Would it be against the NAP to pull the stick out of her butt?
The NAP is the non-aggression principle.
Not a stick, it's a part of the Hillary statue.
She called police, so the woman who attacked the statue called the police, who then told the unnamed artist to move the statue. Said statue was gone by 7:30 in the morning.
Oh.
The male artist says, "Yeah, I hope they put you in cuffs. I'm just trying to preserve my art here." The upset woman said, "This is my workplace. I have to look at this?" As she sat on the statue, a man sticking up for the artist shouted out, "Does anyone have a forklift?" The artist identified himself to witnesses as 27-year-old Anthony Scioli. When reporters showed up at a West 35th Street address listed for Scioli, a young man there who doesn't resemble the alleged artist at the scene said he knew nothing about it. His irate mom, though, angrily said the work was crafted by a pal of her son. She screamed, "It was Danny! It was Danny, his childhood friend who never grew up." While Scioli said he had absolutely no involvement with the stunt, he nonetheless defended it. And she's kind of naked there. There's definitely some... she's topless. The statue is topless, and it does appear to have a man touching her. And who that is, I'm not sure. It's Free Talk Live.
ProPure water filters, making water great again. Taste and feel the difference with state-of-the-art filter technology. Pro 1 G2.0 and Pro Max filters are independent lab-tested to NSF standards. Choose from Gravity, countertop, pitcher, shower, and inline filtration products. There's a ProPure for you. Buy risk-free today. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
Want to build a maintenance-free, low and slow charcoal briquette fire that burns for hours for free? MeatMastersRadio.com will show you how to build a low-temp charcoal fire that's guaranteed fiddle-proof. It's easy and free. MeatMastersRadio.com teaches charcoal barbecue skills on new topics every week. Go to MeatMastersRadio.com. That's MeatMastersRadio.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper, FPP News, at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
On the second Saturday of every month, the Texas Republic Congress meets in a joint session. To learn how you can attend or become a member of Congress, visit thetexasrepublic.com. And together, we can liberate Texas.
For years, LRN.FM has had a listen line that you can call and listen to LRN.FM anytime. Now we're taking the idea to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line. You can call 641-793-9660 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed, and you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 641-793-9660 and choose from the menu 641-793-9660. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll-free here. Bring up anything you want. Our number, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. There's now apparently a Hillary Clinton nude statue. For those of you who may not have heard the story, I think it was during the presidential primary that statues of Trump showed up, or maybe it was after the nomination. But either way, statues of, like sculptures, I guess, of Donald Trump showed up in multiple cities simultaneously. So I don't know if there's been any other cities in this case, but in New York City this morning at about 6 in the morning, the misshapen, as being described by the New York Post as a misshapen caricature, popped up in the city.
She certainly is a misshapen character.
She has hoofs in this particular statue. She's standing
in real life.
She's standing on something here that it's not really clear what it is. It looks like it's like a Google map or something like that. Maybe it's a country. Maybe it's Syria or something like that. I'm not sure what the symbolism is there.
I see that now.
Did
we figure out who this man is that's groping her from the behind?
A balding man that is sort of coming out from behind her. She's wearing like a smock or a coat of some sort, and he's sort of poking out from her side, reaching one arm around and touching her.
So what confuses me is you don't see his feet, so I'm wondering where he's coming out of.
So according to the story here, there was a woman who actually attacked the art in the morning very shortly after it was put up, and screaming apparently that she shouldn't have to look at this while she's at work. She demanded to know if anyone had a forklift. Eventually, police came and told the artist to remove it. There is some video of this, but I haven't had a chance to actually see if there's a bunch of curse words in it. So I've only played the first few seconds. I'll give you a sample of it because I'm pretty sure this beginning portion's pretty safe.
You're going to jail. Or what? Jail today. After all the presidents that we had here.
So she's actually taken the statue down physically, and she starts to kick at it as well. She just does not care about this man's property. And in fact, goes on to claim that it's not his property.
Destroying property. Yeah. You can't touch people or destroy property. Get out of my mouth. This is abandoned property.
So is it abandoned property if the artist is standing right there?
Doesn't sound abandoned to me.
Yeah,
I would say it's not abandoned.
Sounds like it's being watched over.
I don't think this lady was arrested or anything. Quote, the artist, Mr. Scioli, Anthony Scioli, 27-year-old, said, that's the nature of the work. It wasn't built to last. I think it's unfortunate. He said, I do believe satire gets to the truth of matters. It was lighthearted. The way it escalated is unfortunate. Scioli claimed he doesn't know who Donald Trump and Clinton are. Quote, I completely had nothing to do with it. Someone gave my name. I had nothing to do with it. I had nothing to do with the Hillary Clinton or Trump statue. I never heard of these people.
The guy coming out from behind her kind of looks like Karl Rove.
Wasn't he Bush's guy?
I think so, but I don't know. It looks like him.
Well, he looks like a balding man. I mean, that could be a lot of politicians.
Sure.
Both Scioli and...
it doesn't really look very much like Hillary either.
Maybe it's... who's the New York... Pataki or somebody like that, like one of those. Maybe he's like one of those New York politicians.
Maybe Bloomberg or something. Who knows?
Before the downtown incident got heated, most passers-by seemed to view the statue as harmless, said witnesses. And then, according to the story here at the news, when the lady started kicking it, then it got serious, said Demetrius Aspinall, age 22, who works at a nearby farmer's market. He says, just because you don't like it, you shouldn't be taking it upon yourself to destroy it. Miriam Hernandez, a 62-year-old interpreter, says she understood the woman's angry reaction. She says, oh my God, that is disgusting. As a woman, I'm doubly offended. I guess that woman got offended. I would have just ignored it, but sometimes you just can't ignore something, she said. Now, I suspect these same people who are mad about Hillary Clinton would have been elated to see the Donald Trump naked statue. I'm just guessing on that. Maybe they would have been as angry because of the naked Donald Trump. And I believe that the naked Donald Trump did not have a penis, if I'm recalling correctly.
Then that makes it even more okay.
And
for them, anyways. I mean,
an equally offensive naked Donald Trump statue by the anarchist collective In Decline was erected near Union Square in August and remained there all day until parks workers finally removed it. At the time, agency spokesbureaucrats said, quote, NYC Park stands firmly against any unpermitted erection in city parks, no matter how small.
Sorry.
Apparently, there's been
the way they worded that when we're talking about nudity.
Really? Now, is this today? Oh, no, this is a couple months ago.
Yeah, apparently there was another statue. This is also after the Trump statue.
Where was that one? Also New York City?
I don't know. Yeah, it looks like it, but I'm not sure. I'm looking at the article, and it's not forthcoming.
Well, hopefully we'll learn a little bit more about this and who the actual artist was, because this guy, Scioli, is saying it actually wasn't him.
This one's a better statue, but it's also a very naked Hillary, and this one actually looks like Hillary.
This one is definitely more of a caricature, but you can tell obviously who it is intended to be. Let's go to Sarah, listening in New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Sarah.
Well, I just think that Donald Trump he's like so best at running and sponsoring beauty pageants. Isn't he always with like Miss Utah in the hotel room trying to kiss her, or she's always on TV with Miss California and two of his wives were models. I mean his expert in surrounding himself with beautiful women. I think it's very bizarre that he got the Republican nomination. He's more of a television personality.
It's not bizarre that he got the nomination. I mean,
I'm not surprised one bit.
He represents, like it or not, he represents something different in Washington, D.C. He's an outsider from the perspective of the fact that he doesn't live there. He hasn't been elected there previously. And a lot of people in the United States are, frankly, sick and tired of politics as usual. They're sick and tired of the candidates that they're normally given to choose from. And that's why Donald Trump got the nomination. People came out in droves to support him.
And I think beyond that, too, is that people love the entertainment industry.
Sure.
And you guys think this is crazy this time around? Kanye West has already said he wants to run for president, and I would not be surprised
if he won.
If that was the next election cycle.
Kanye
Mark my
West.
words. There's going to be a combination of the internet, the entertainment, and the political system.
So if Trump actually wins this time around, it'll be Trump versus Kanye West in 4 more years, right?
And mark my words. I'm telling you.
It's too bad.
It's going to get worse and worse.
This would have been a great opportunity for some of the other libertarians that have run on the libertarian ticket. I think it's really too bad that libertarians didn't put up either a Mary Ruwart, which I've voted for.
You mean a principled libertarian lady, the author of Healing Our World?
Even just the fact that she's a lady, that would be a great opportunity to be running against Hillary. And I think it would have done very well this election cycle.
Yeah, for
had
sure.
that been the choice. Or
what if the libertarians? That's what I was going to say. What if the libertarians run a celebrity?
Yeah, well, Doug Stanhope has run in the past.
I think
it would be interesting.
Probably
yes.
For what?
President.
Doug Stanhope ran for president?
Yes, he did.
As an independent?
Oh yeah.
I don't think he lasted long.
Yeah.
Wait, he didn't get through the nomination.
American mentality, like you said, there's so much involved in entertainment that they pick somebody that would actually like somebody that is so vain, that is fixed on like outward appearances, that is fixated on beautiful women.
Sarah, would you ever consider running for president?
Well, you know what? They could also hire real actors like Ronald Reagan was and then Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That didn't answer my question, Sarah. Would you ever consider?
That's the next best choice, right?
You?
Real actors,
are you the next best choice, Sarah? Would you run for president?
No, I wasn't born here, but I won't run for president. No, I don't think I'm qualified.
Hey, Sarah, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE.
She would fix all the roads.
Yep.
And trolleys.
See, even if she doesn't want to run, we'll draft her. Draft Sarah 2020.
She seems bothered that people would nominate a man who's interested in beautiful women. I mean, come on, that's something that most men can relate to. Right? That's one of the things that makes him endearing.
Yeah, what do you want all your politicians to be asexual?
By the way,
I mean, come on.
I'm not. I just want to make it clear. I'm not supporting Trump. I'm just explaining why he got the nomination.
Yeah.
All right. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Take control of the airwaves in the remaining moments of Free Talk Live, which are coming up.
The following is an incredible, life-changing free offer for anyone with hearing problems who wants to start hearing everything more clearly again. We're now offering free in-home trials of a revolutionary hearing breakthrough called Listen Clear to anyone who calls this special toll-free number now, 1-800-719-2949. Call in the next 10 minutes and you'll also qualify for free shipping and free batteries for life. Listen Clear is precisely designed by top audio engineers. It adjusts to let you find the perfect way to hear everything, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. And Listen Clear is so invisible, people may not even know you're wearing it. And it's so lightweight, you may even forget you're wearing it too. Don't miss this special life-changing opportunity to hear everything more clearly again for free with a 100% free in-home trial, free shipping, and even free batteries for life. For free information, call now, 1-800-719-2949. That's 1-800-719-2949. 1-800-719-2949.
What would your life be like if you woke up each morning with new vitality, feeling better than you have in years, and you noticed a difference in your sleeping patterns, blood sugar levels, and had a sense of well-being overall? There's something that is changing thousands of people's lives, and you could be one of them. It's called Heart and Body Extract. Sharon Harris, co-creator of Heart and Body Extract, talks about the positive effects of Heart and Body Extract.
What happens with the formula Heart and Body Extract is it's giving the body the necessary vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, and phytonutrients so the body will heal itself. And yes, the body does have the ability to balance blood pressure, balance cholesterol, clean and unclog the arteries. It can also work on balancing the circulation for diabetics. So the body is an amazing thing. It simply needs some help so it has the tools to heal itself.
Heart and Body Extract gets results. To order your 2-month supply, call now, toll free at 866-295-5305. Order online at hbextract.com.
Every once in a while, you get information that's worth changing your life for. This is one such time. You can save up to and beyond 25% on all purchases at Amazon. You probably heard of Bitcoin and just not thought much about it. You certainly know that you can get competitive pricing at Amazon, but now you can get a 25% discount on nearly everything you need to live. I've just given you a huge raise, and all you have to do is claim it. You go to saveitpurse.com and open an account. Do this right now. Don't wait. Then you fund the account with Bitcoin. I know this sounds unbelievable, but at my house, we saved as much as 45% off of a new item on Amazon. This information is worth you changing the way you do things. Go to saveitpurse.com right now, get signed up, and cash in on the huge raise I'm offering you. 15 to 25% off of everything at Amazon through saveitpurse.com. It's saveatpurse.com. The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same prices with free Super Saver shipping by going to shop.freetalklive.com. Please do your online shopping at shop.freetalklive.com.
This is your Robertson Roberts Brokerage Daily Precious Metals Update. In early trading Tuesday, gold is $4 higher at $1,260 per ounce. Silver is 11 cents higher at $17.63 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at $636 US. Robertson Roberts has been helping clients buying and selling precious metals for nearly 40 years. Call Robertson Roberts Brokerage today at 800-874-9760 or visit us online at rrbi.co.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial in, join us in these remaining moments. Enough time for you to take control at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. It's been a busy night on the phones, which is always fun, but it means we didn't get a chance to get to that story about the psychopath. So will you hold that one, Johnson? Because it sounds interesting, and as we get closer and closer to the election, it's more and more relevant.
Right.
So we'll get into that here when we get the chance. We're talking about a minor psychopath, a woman who lost her cool because of a Hillary Clinton statue that appeared in New York City this morning around 6 a.m. She came out of wherever it was she was hiding and just viciously attacked the statue, throwing it down, breaking it, kicking it, and then defending her actions, claiming that the statue was unclaimed property or abandoned property. I've got a little bit more from that video we'll play here in a moment. Also, I want to let you know about store.bitcoin.com. We've told you about bitcoin.com, which is, of course, a great website to visit if you're new to Bitcoin, and even if you're not new to Bitcoin. If you've been around the cryptocurrency world for a while, the Bitcoin.com's got a great news section to it. It's got a forum that you can use as well, and it's a forum that doesn't have the censorship that some of the other Bitcoin communities do. So if you go to store.bitcoin.com, however, you can actually get some T-shirts. If you're a fan of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, you know that T-shirts are a great way to get a conversation started about crypto. And they've got some pretty cool shirts over at Bitcoin.com. In fact, it's got one of my favorites that I actually have, the Bitcoin Not Bombs Big B logo T-shirt, the orange and black with a bunch of cool words, like one of those I don't know what you call that style. Word clouds, but in the shape of a big, large B logo for the Bitcoin thing. And so they got a bunch of other ones, coffee mugs and some hoodies and things like that. So head on over to store.bitcoin.com. Looks like they got stickers as well, which are always cool. So you can get the Bitcoin Accepted Here stickers from store.bitcoin.com. And I suspect you'll be able to pay with Bitcoin. So head on over there when you get a chance. Let's go to your phone calls and thoughts. Parker is on the line in Washington. You're on Free Talk Live with Ian, Cody, and Johnson. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. So you've been talking a lot about this Hillary Clinton statue that happened in New York. I think that's actually pretty funny, and I think that there should be more of that.
Absolutely.
There's this thing. Oh, God, I can't even remember how long ago it was, but there was this time when I was in Chicago, and they had this thing called Cows on Parade. And there are all these different cows, and they had all these different designs on them. Like, one was a holy cow, and it was wearing, like, glasses, and it was right next to, like, a sports...
You sure this wasn't an ad for Chick-fil-A?
No, this is not a ad for Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
Though they might have sponsored it. I don't know. They had all these wacky different things. I think they should do the exact same thing, but instead of cows on parade, it should be politicians on parade. And they should have like all these different wacky designs that are offensive and degrading and that are like targeted specifically at the politicians' biggest insecurities and, you know, something like that.
Now, are you an artist?
Oh God, no. I'm not. By
Parker's an idea man.
Yeah.
Yes, this is, I mean,
it's a lot of idea men calling in tonight.
Well, you know, there's nothing wrong with people with ideas, but the problem is inspiring other people to see your idea as worth doing. That's always a tricky one.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, maybe somebody's listening right now who has the artistic fortitude to be able to, you know, do the stuff that you're talking about, and they'll feel like that's such a brilliant idea, they'll run with it, but it seems unlikely.
I want to put it out in the air. There's like a running joke in the Free State Project Liberty community in this area in New Hampshire, where when this happens all the time in this area, where somebody will come up, yeah, you should do this. We could do this. It would be this great idea, and it's kind of become this like stereotypical flippant joke response to say that's a good idea. You should do that.
Derek J changed it. He, instead of saying you should do that, he'll say you could do that.
Yeah.
You know, another thing that I want to bring up is that, who was it, Sarah, that was talking about politicians or something in New Mexico or something like that?
Doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Well, anyway, I think it'd be really cool. I would like to try and do this myself, but I'm not sure I have the skills necessary to succeed in doing this, but I think someone, be it me or somebody else, should run for some sort of public office at the next time that it's available. And the goal should be not to get people to vote for them, but to get people to stay home on election day.
It's a good idea. You could do that.
Yep, you totally could do that. Thanks for the call, Parker. Appreciate it. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733.
He really didn't get it. He just launched right back into it. That was fun.
Pretty good stuff.
Is even, I would say that one's even less likely. I mean, so the first one, maybe some artist heard him and was inspired by that, and they'll go out and they'll do that. That's possible. Unlikely, but possible.
Right.
The second one is even less likely because most of the people who don't support voting are never going to run for a political office.
Most people also just aren't inspired by people just shouting ideas, and it just doesn't happen. Like, people are inspired by other people doing things.
That's true.
And then they're like, I like that idea. I can do this different thing that's kind of like that.
You spin on it or whatever.
That's how most people get inspired. Look at all the activism that you've ever seen.
Right.
And you're going to find that pattern is really prevalent. Like, that most people that have done activism are doing activism because they saw something else happen that they liked, and they're doing it kind of like that.
Well, it's like Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree wasn't inspirational because it was a theoretical blog about things they wanted to do.
A couple guys standing around a table talking or whatever, sitting around passing a joint, talking about what they ought to do.
Right.
But I agree with you. Yeah, get out there, and inspire other people by doing the things that you think are the most important to do. And it's not hard to run for political office. I mean, although I guess I can't speak for Washington State, where Parker's calling from. Here in New Hampshire, you can throw in $2 and you can run for a state representative seat as a Republican or a Democrat. I mean, really,
it's also really easy in these other areas to, you come up with these ideas, and it's like, well, because you're not going to necessarily execute because you don't have any people around you to execute those ideas with.
Right, and I wish we had time. We'll have to play it another night, but one of our listeners in Missouri is all by himself in this little town. He's going recording video in the town hall, and he got threatened and assaulted today recently for that.
It's really dangerous to do this kind of activism by your lonesome.
To do this alone. And further, I mean, I don't support someone running for office with the message of don't trying to keep people from coming out and voting. What's the ultimate goal there? Because even if you were to be successful and convince a bunch of people to not come out and vote, then let's just say you were as successful as you could possibly be and you convinced 100% of the people to not vote, which is impossible because the bureaucrats will always come out and vote for themselves. So the people inside the system, the people who get paid by the government, they're going to come out and vote. But even if they didn't, for some reason, all their cars broke down, there was something that happened and they just couldn't come out to do it. Even if they didn't, we've seen elections where no one has voted before, and they have a system to deal with that.
Right.
They'll either flip a coin, or they'll just, someone will get appointed by the city council or the current state representative or the governor or whatever the office is.
Right.
They have a system for this. You're not going to end the system if people don't go out and vote.
Right.
If you really want to actually have an effect on folks or have an effect on the system, then try to encourage people to not pay taxes. Because if enough people didn't pay taxes, then everything would come crashing down. It's the obedience that's the problem. It's not the fact that people are going out and voting. So for all these anarchists out there, and I'm friends with a lot of them, but for all the anarchists who say, we got to stop people from voting because voting is consent, or whatever their arguments are, it's ridiculous. The consent is the taxes and the obedience.
Right.
So how many of those anarchists who don't vote are also not filing, taxes with the IRS every year? Because I bet you most of them are. I bet you most of them are obediently paying whatever taxes they're told to pay because they know that there's risk in actually taking those steps.
Right.
And there's no risk in not voting.
There's not a huge risk in staying home that day. I mean, that's what I'm going to do, and I'll gladly share that information with people that I'm not going to vote. But I'm not gonna talk like I'm doing some big justice for the world. I'm just that's just
you're
what
just feeling lazy.
I'm just not gonna.
You don't care.
Well, and it's not laziness. It's just
what is it then?
If there was a reason for me to go out and do it,
there's
I'd go
Liberty
out and do
people
it.
on the ballot.
But I don't agree with it or believe in it, and that's not really something I want to take part in. I'm just saying I understand there's no risk in it. I'm not acting like this is a huge activist thing.
You're not
it's
acting
just,
like you're better than other people.
Yeah, it's just that's how I'm going to.
You don't think the system's going to come crashing down because you stayed at home and masturbated rather than voted?
It's just how I'm going to treat that day. That's just what I've decided. No big deal. I'm not going to walk around like I'm Jesus, but that's
would
just
you
what
feel
I've
bad
decided.
if one of the Liberty activists on the ballot lost by one vote?
I'd probably still sleep fine that night.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
I don't know.
Fair enough. We'll see you tomorrow online. In the meantime, for those of you who want to check out more Cody, check out offtheairlive.com. He's doing a special edition of his show tonight.
Yes.
10 o'clock Eastern Time, so it's coming up over at lrn.fm. And we will see you online in the meantime between now and then over at freetalklive.com.
Money, power, and respect are all yours at creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com. Be seen as an industry leader. You can do it. The last application you filled out when it was time to hit submit, did your nerves spike? You didn't get the approval you seek, but there's a better way. We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems the right way the first time so you get approved. Get up to $100,000 in instant business credit. Many people will get cash on the spot. Use those two tools in your new corporate credit engine. so you can walk into the bank and get your project funded today. It's all about today at CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com. Credit Success Secrets Revealed is explosive and ignites instant results. Dial 1-800-707-8719. That's 1-800-707-8719. 1-800-707-8719. Or just go to CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road underground market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
The live edition of Off the Air Live is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, October 18th, 2016. Silver is trading at $17.61 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,260 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $641. Antiwar.com reports following calls by U.S. and British officials for a ceasefire in Yemen, the pro-Saudi Hadi government and the Shiite Houthis have agreed to implement a 72-hour ceasefire with possibilities of extensions if all goes well. The truce is set to begin late Wednesday. UN officials say the ceasefire will allow for an increase in humanitarian aid deliveries. The pro-Saudi forces condition the truce on aid coming into their portion of Taiz. Getting aid into the Houthi parts of the country, by contrast, is more heavily dependent on getting ships through the Saudi naval blockade. On that count, the Saudis did promise to support the ceasefire, but did not necessarily say they'll be participating in it. That could be problematic, as previous ceasefires